Whoa, Mike. Fancy seeing you here. Hearing
it is fancy
you
seeing
here.
you here too, Molly. It's crazy.
Whoa, that's crazy. What are you doing here?
I'm here to have a good time, first and foremost.
We're here to give the people what they want.
True.
You hear that, viewers?
It's what we want too.
We've just got so many new fans. We have so many listeners, and they said, guys, you've been a household name for such a long time now. Let's get guests on. And who are we to
deprive them of content?
And I'm so excited to see some of these faces, hear some of these voices.
Yeah, your voice.
Potentially hear some of these opinions.
Fawning.
Ooh. Anyway, welcome to season 2, you guys.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay, guys, welcome back. This season is an extra special one because this season, I already said it, we're gonna have guests. Yay!
Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on!
So we're gonna have guests basically every single episode, with the exception of some 3 special episodes later this season, because we have friends and family members and people we like and care about, and we want to hear their opinions, and we want them to give us some new things to watch and or listen. That's the overall reason why. Do you want to say anything about that, Mike?
You may find that our guests can be cooler than us at times, and that's okay.
Mike, that's crazy. We're really cool though.
I know it's a high bar, but some people may exceed it.
You know, I don't consider it coolness. I consider it new shared things that we didn't know about that we do now. Because this podcast is really all about exploration, right?
Yes.
So just new things to make us cool too, because once we know what they are, then we're cool too. Also, because of this, our format has changed a little. Our new format, we're going to keep current fixations so that you guys can stay up to date on what Mike and I are currently listening or watching. We'll bring our guests in and we'll do top 5s that they chose. And it's going to be a hard top 5, like no honorable mentions.
No! No! No!
Why do you do this?
I know. We're all devastated. And then they're going to give us an assignment. That's very exciting. We'll all talk about it. And then we're going to add a new segment on the show. And it's going to be called Speak Your Truth. That's how I say it. Mike, how do you say that?
Speak your truth.
And then we'll have our 1 song or 1 movie spotlight. Our guests will get to choose. And then no, I can't keep saying and then.
No and then!
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 And then.
That will be followed by our classic.
Now dig on this.
And then that's it in our episode. So the biggest main change is that obviously we're going to have guests. And we're taking out...
Guys, as you may have heard in our Halloween special, if you're real dogs and you listen to it, Center Stage has died. It is a loss that we are still mourning a few months later, and what the fuck?
I'm saying hi to our guests. Oh my god, keep talking cheese.
Okay. The reason we are grieving so much is because Center Stage had to leave, because we were always 2 weeks behind on media news, because we would record and then it would take 2 weeks to release. By the time it released, it was old news to everybody.
Yeah, but don't worry because we keep posting everything on our Insta and Facebook, so. Yippee! We did want to mention, as we were for our holiday specials, again, go listen to those, oh my gosh. We are recording on Zoom, as you should know at this point. I am in Boston, Massachusetts for graduate school. I'm living that life right now. And it's just not feasible for us to travel back and forth. And also, it's easier for us to have guests from other places.
True.
But just keep in mind, friends, that we, as in Mike and myself, have some pretty fancy gear. So do our friends. Some of our friends will be able to take advantage of some of that gear. Some of them might not be. So
Some of them
just
borrowing gear from season 1.
Yes. So just keep that in mind when you're listening. It's not going to be the fanciest of sounds, but we're going to try and work on it in post-production as best as we can to make it sound good enough for you guys. So, yeah.
Here.
Okay. Let's get into current fixations. I want to hear what you're listening and watching, dude. We actually haven't even talked about this.
So What is that? What is new?
You?
What do I tell them?
Well, what did you tell them?
I told them I would ask.
What are you blathering about?
Customers are asking what is new.
What should I tell them?
What did you tell them?
I told them I would ask.
What the heck, Mike?
Recently, I've been rewatching things for our top 5 for today's episode. But other than that, I've been catching up on a lot of movies in my watch list in our downtime. Outside of that, I've been reading some books, listening to a lot of new music,
Like
The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean on vinyl. Because that album, I don't know if you agree, but I think she has a Nora Jones vibe going.
so good. Absolutely.
Cool. What else have I been listening to? One of them is a hybrid because I watched it and the soundtrack is so good that it's been on loop a lot recently. And that is 1998's The Prince of Egypt from DreamWorks. The soundtrack is so good, and the movie's an animated retelling of the Book of Exodus.
Whoa.
But Hans Zimmer did the soundtrack, and it's awesome. And Steven Schwartz did the lyrics. For those that don't know, he did the music for Wicked, so...
Nice. Yeah, I heard that slaps.
He's a crazy dude. It's so good. So that is my current fixations. Molly, what have you been watching or listening to recently?
Well, Mike, I'm going to set a timer for this one because we said we were going to do that, and I do want to limit myself. So I'm setting a timer now. Okay. Well, Mike, well, it's been a hot minute since obviously we have told our listeners what we've been listening to. And when the semester ended and then restarted, I didn't really listen to a lot during that time. I listened to Willow Smith's newest album. I can't remember the name of it, and I think it's because I don't know how to pronounce it.
I know you've had me listen to a few songs from it.
Oh no, it's called Ceremonial Contrafact, and then I've listened to the deluxe version. It's basically Willow's most recent album. Oh my god, that's a lie. She came out with a new album. She came out with a new album 10 days ago.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Oh my god. Whoa. All right, guys, that's crazy. But yes, I really like that album by Willow. It is so good. That kind of just like took up my life. And then I also listened to Fancy That, which is Pink Pantheress's album, which you would really know it right now based off of the remixes that came out of that album, like the one that she has with Zara Larsson called Stateside. Love that song. But the original album that those songs came out, so good. What'd you say, Mike?
I've heard of Stateside, but the only Pink Panther song I know is from the Barbie soundtrack from like 2 years ago.
Which is crazy because I actually don't think I know what that one is.
But I support it.
Thank you. Where the Super Bowl halftime show had the same effect on me. Currently, 2 years in a row now? Where I saw Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show, said, I love that. And I listened to him a lot. So literally every song from there I listened to. And then Bruno Mars's new album came out. I managed to listen to it a couple hours ago. It's not that bad. It's cutie. I see it getting at least one award, honestly.
Is it like that
glad to have him back. His voice sounds amazing.
Is it like that one Twitter post where it's the guy that's like, you made the same music for 10 years. And then Bruno Mars replied, and you haven't done shit in your life. And then deleted
Real. I think that he's exploring a lot of different grooves. So I actually think it is different from his other stuff. But that's just me. And then the biggest banger of them all right now in the DeMarco household has got to be Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush. And dare I say, top 5 of 2026, like already.
2 months in.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how big this song is gonna go, I think. It's so good. So that's kind of what I've been listening to. Listening to some Samara Joy as well. For those jazzers out there. She also won a Grammy, period. Okay, movies. It's a little different. I'm in my transitional period because I don't really like to... While I'm at school, I don't like to watch a lot of shows. So I actually do watch a lot more movies. And recently I've been in a very... odd,
Watches Bridgerton season 4 in a day.
I saw it in a night with my friends. I haven't seen the rest of it. We're seeing it on Sunday. Not to get too much into it, but I've been in a very weird mental and physical state, feeling like life could end soon. So I've been trying to like grasp things that I really like, and those things happen to be like things from my childhood. And my friends here, we finally realized that we like the same things. So I've been watching a lot of Barbie movies recently, some Disney Channel, some of those types of things, or things that I just have seen when I was younger. two new movies I did see recently were This Means War, which it was Chris Pine,
Reese Witherspoon.
and Reese Witherspoon, and that one guy that played Venom. I don't know his name.
Tom Hardy.
It was a good movie. My friend Gigi recommended it. Shout out Gigi, period. And that was great. And the funniest thing about that movie is that they lie to Reese Witherspoon about their jobs because they work for the CIA. If you've never seen it, it's like Bride Wars, but dudes instead. And instead of a wedding, it's just to win over this one girl and they're spies. It's the funniest thing because Chris Pine, this is being filmed in between Star Trek 1 and 2 for him. And so his lie to her, because they're in the CIA, he's like, I'm the captain of a really big ship. And I think that is the funniest thing because he is. He's Captain Kirk in Star Trek. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking funny. And then Netflix put on the live action How to Train Your Dragon. And I'd never seen it. So I wanted to watch it and I actually quite liked it.
The animated stays goated. It's too soon for a live action reboot, in my opinion, kind of like Moana.
Yeah, but I actually don't think they fucked it up.
I doubt they did.
Because I think Disney live action and Universal live action are different. Also,
yeah, like they had the original crew on the live action remake, and I was like, that's good. It's just the original came out less than 20 years ago.
I completely agree with you. However, it does exist, and I think actually he looks and sounds a lot like Hiccup. I wish they gave Astrid a little bit more lines because she kind of seems kind of daft, if you ask me. But other than that, it's a great movie, and that's
She's a big character in the animated one, so.
I know, I've seen the original.
I'm just saying the comparison of animated to live action.
Okay.
Sweet.
Wow.
Totally.
Look at our first little quarrel on season 2. Oh, Mike. Wow. Can you feel it?
Oh, I can feel it.
Mike, I think it's time for us to introduce our guests. Plural.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Mike, I'm going to say one of their names and you're going to say their other names.
I'm going to get it mixed up, man.
Our first ever guests on season 2 are Erin and
Erica Millard.
Yay!
Hi. Hi. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
We're so excited.
Wow.
So excited.
Wow.
Like Cat from Cat in the Hat.
I'm so excited!
Real quick on the spot stuff, do you each just want to say maybe how you know us and then your taste in music or movies, if you can summarize it?
Hi, I'm Erica. I first met Molly in freshman year, Earth Science. We sat next to each other and been friends ever since. Fireworks. And then I went to school with Mike. Like we all went to high school together. However, he was friends with my fiance Dylan, and we kind of eventually just meshed friend groups and realized that Molly knew Mike knew like all of us, and then we're just like, oh wow, that's so cool, like small world. And then
life is crazy.
I mean, ever since we've been chilling ever since.
And Erica's been besties with my mom.
Oh, yes. I heard that you guys got new cats, and I was like, oh my gosh. I overheard. I was like, wait a second. News from the DeMarco household. We got a Keenan. It's real.
Erica, what do you think your taste is in music or movies?
I would say my taste in movies would probably be, honestly, I like a little bit of everything. But I would say comedy would probably be my favorite. Just nothing, because in my opinion, I feel like horror and thriller and romance, I feel like there's a fine line between it can either be like pretty good, plot is engaging as a nice story throughout, but there's also a fine line that could just completely wreck the entire storyline just based off the acting. I just find it that there's not a lot of actors in those movie genres where they can fulfill the storyline. And in my opinion, at least with those, I think it's hit or miss depending on which movies you've seen, where I feel like comedy, I think you can't ever go wrong with comedy. If you're throwing something on the TV, it's like, all right, some people, romance isn't really comedy. I think just covers a lot of different people's interests, unless it's like you have a niche sense of humor. But overall, I feel like
we're gonna test that later with discussions, because I got a movie to talk about that I don't think anyone else in this room likes.
And then for music tastes, I'd say alternative rock, grunge, a little bit of metal, kind of that direction is my favorite, but I'm definitely willing to listen a little bit of everything. Classic rock, country. I can get down to pop, R&B, all of that. I would say the genres that I'm the most picky on would be probably rap, because again, that could be. But even though metal is my favorite genre, it has to be tastefully done. You can't just scream into the mic and be like, "That's metal, dude." It
Why
has to
not?
be. I think it just has to be done in a certain way. But then again, to each their own, right? I think it's all subjective. That's why we're here, right? We just explore all different avenues.
It's true.
Period. Thank
I
you,
think
Erica.
I think
Your
it's
turn.
Erin's turn.
Hi, this is Erin. So I met Molly through Erica because, I mean, just being twins, I feel like our friend groups naturally integrate. And then because, we all went to high school together, I think we all had that like background. And then with Mike, we kind of reconnected after high school because at one point you and I were living together, and because he's friends with Dylan, and they're kind of just like, again, like our friend groups just like integrated naturally, and we're kind of ended up being rekindling friendships. So genres in movies, I would say romantic comedies. I think those are my favorite, but I also like action and true crime like movies. I feel like those weren't always my favorites, but as I've gotten like older, I feel like those have been recent faves for me. So I've really been enjoying that. For romantic comedies, I feel like I stick to like the 90s and like early 2000s like era for romantic comedies. I feel like now like it's really hard to find a romantic comedy that tops those like that era.
Are you a
But
She's All That girl?
yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like not really.
That's okay.
So
It's hit or miss. That's why I asked.
agree. So
Yeah.
and then for music, I have the most confusing music taste, but similar thing where I feel like it's honing on the 90s and early 2000s, but I listen to a variety of genres like R&B, rap, pop, alternative rock, grunge. That's kind of my scene in that aspect. I do listen to some metal, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of like that was more like high school Erin, where I was very much into that genre, but now that I've gotten older and like in my 20s, I still like it, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Cool. Hell yeah. So
Cool.
this verifies that I was ruining the vibe last weekend when I was playing 90s music only. Because you guys are both metal and alt rock and grunge. And I'm like,
Oh,
we're gonna listen to fucking Man, I Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain.
That is literally one of my favorite songs. That was
Yeah.
not ruining the vibe at all.
There's a reason you're secondary on the playlist that my friend Liam started. The white girl songs of yesteryear turned white boy
Okay,
anthems of
wait.
today.
I gently referred you to throw some suggestions. And, like Erin would be so good at that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the first song I put on there was Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield because,
That's
song
probably the
Real.
one that jumps out to me the most.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a
I've
lot.
definitely made my fair contributions on that Spotify playlist.
Yeah, it was fun.
You're
when you were-
welcome.
Yes, thank you, of course. There was also the bit where you were playing Little Mix and you were like, you know this song, Mike. And I was listening to it and I was like, I've never heard of this in my life, dude.
Little Max.
And then the
Was it
chorus came on
Wings?
and I was like, I lied. I've heard this once.
She was so baffled. She's like, "What?" I was like, "Is it really that hard to believe a 25-year-old man?"
That's what I'm saying.
Just saying, I was just a little taken back. There's some people who do listen to different music that's maybe not to be expected of them. So I didn't want to assume one way or another. Maybe he's singing in the shower, Little Mix. I won't judge.
True. I mean,
The
one
answer
time
is
were
no,
we
I
like
do not.
weren't we like I don't even remember the circumstance, but we were in a car ride and I was like, how are we gonna all listen to the same thing? But like Disney classics or like Disney Channel classics can unify. Obviously, if you're also into that. But notice how you guys didn't even say that in your thing. But like,
It's
I
true.
don't know.
also
Lemonade
utilizes
Mouth
too.
hits every time.
I'm still
Exactly.
the outlier on that. That needs to work on that.
About Lemonade Mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's cheesy, just like any
I
Disney.
know.
They're
What are we
Molly and
even
I-
doing here?
Molly and I have talked about having me watch Lemonade Mouth at least 8 times in the past 6 months, and all of them have failed to come to fruition.
Molly
as
didn't remember
frequent?
any of those. Molly's writing it down now. This will be fixed by our next episode. You're welcome.
By our next episode,
Do either of you guys want to explain why you chose your theme for the top 5? And do you want to tell our listeners what that theme is?
So we chose 90s movies for our topic. The reason why it seems kind of a broad topic, but in my opinion, pop culture was the best at this very moment in time. If I had to pick a time to time travel in which decade, it would be the 90s. Because, I mean, that's when grunge was really starting to come out. You had Nirvana, you had Pearl Jam. I mean, even the movie industry. I mean, there's so many different classics that, I mean, that's why. So to me, it was easy to just roll through like a list, be like, all right, top 5. That's it. Because, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, a good majority. I mean, some of my favorite TV shows, that 70s show, Friends, like just some of the popular sitcoms as well. My favorite era. But also, I think a lot of it has contributed to having older siblings. We were introduced to all of that, where I feel like, a lot of people in our generation, it kind of died down a little bit. But, having older siblings, we were able to get little tidbits along the way. So I feel like, we have a little bit of a more of appreciation. And also it was before technology like iPhones, the internet, all that thing. It's just, to me, I thought it was no AI or so much like editing and auto tune. It's just more authentic, in my opinion, has a little bit more of an authentic feel, but also just that's when a lot of my favorite genre and a lot of my favorite songs that started to come out. So that's, in my opinion, I thought 90s was just the easiest for me to talk about.
I guess to further Erica's point, exposure definitely played a huge role, I think, when selecting our favorite tastes in music and movies. And just, I definitely would agree that I feel like pop culture was at its peak at that point for the reasons that you mentioned. And as I explained earlier, like this era is probably like my favorites and like has contributed into some of my favorite movies or music. So I don't know.
cool.
Nice.
I would like to preface that Erica's statement is the antithesis of my input because my short list for getting to top 5s of 90s movies was like 92 movies.
So long.
Pain in the buttuckus, to say the least. It was very difficult, but we made it happen, and I'm happy that we got here.
Yeah.
All right, well, on the topic of 90s movies, that is indeed our top 5 for today's episode. And Erica and Erin are going to start off with their shared number 5.
Number 5 would be The Sandlot. I mean, again, you can't go wrong. It's comedy. I think it's timeless. It's one of the very few sports movies I think Erin is actually engaged in.
Whoa.
Two.
But I mean, I think it's funny. I think you can't ever go wrong. Everyone knows, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people are familiar with Sandlot. And then also just Erin constantly throwing the line anytime I'm on her last nerve is, "You're killing me, Smalls."
Hell yeah.
It's not necessarily always when you're on my last nerve. It's also just like in general when like you're saying something funny and like, "You're killing me, Smalls." And also Molly, I heard the boos when she said The Sandlot. Like, I have a bone to pick with you for that one.
That movie rocks.
I said ooh, not boo. Funny that you said that,
Dang,
Erin,
that's
because I actually, you're not wrong. I actually don't like that movie. But I wasn't booing you because I'm a good
Okay,
person.
so this is a 3-on-1
No, I know you're not
war
booing
today.
me.
Because The Sandlot
right.
rules. I watched it for the first time, memorably at least, in the past year or two.
I support you. It's just like not my thing. I mean,
But like the guy that owns the dog that's eating all the baseballs, it's the voice of Mufasa and Darth Vader. Come on, it's James Earl Jones.
cool.
I think it's great regardless. Dylan loves that movie. So like him and I watched it like within the last year, but it's always you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what to watch. I mean, I think him and I were like, let's just throw on the Sandlot. It's just, it's easy. We know it's that feel good like movie where you just can't go wrong, in my opinion.
And I love that for you. And I support you.
It is very good.
I do feel like the acting is pretty good, even though they're all like young actors. Like, like some child actors or like younger actors, they're like, they're kids. They don't always do it best or like justice. But considering like I was very like happy with like cast, and I feel like it was a pretty solid cast like that they picked out for each of the roles. That's just me though.
Nice. All right. Before we move to the next person's number 5, whether that's Molly or I would like to note Wendy Peppercorn is a dime.
That's fair.
Hell yeah.
All right, Miguel, what would be your number 5 in your list?
All right, so my number 5 is an acquired taste because, to preface before I say the title, SNL humor is very subjective, and Molly and I have discussed this before, and it's a mix. Like, I grew up with Saturday Night Live and the humor style of it, so I love it. And that is why my number 5 is 1992's Wayne's World.
Ooh. I'm going to really have to look that one up. Sorry, Mike. Never heard of that before.
Okay, for those that don't know what Wayne's World is, it is a sketch series in Saturday Night Live, but the movie is like a feature-length adaptation of that sketch series. So it's about 2 early 1990s slackers that love rock music, Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar, and they make a living out of Wayne's basement doing his public access TV show titled Wayne's World. Along the way, a business executive named Benjamin sees their broadcast, wants to buy it out from underneath them, exploit them, get as much money as he can out of it without retaining the heart of it because they're so beloved for the show. And Wayne falls in love with this bass player, Cassandra, who is the voice actress for Nani in Lilo and Stitch. It's very good, laid-back humor. It's one of those movies that I can turn on in the background as noise, and I'll love it if I focus on it. I'll still laugh if I just hear it as I'm doing other things. I was quoting this movie when I was 8 years old. It was one of those households I grew up in where they were like, we like this. You're going to watch it too. And I was like, okay. Lo and behold, it gets funnier as I get older. So I'm okay with that. It comes in at number 5 because it's solely operating on nostalgia and humor, and the fact that it's like a background kind of movie. And it brought Bohemian Rhapsody back to number 1 on Billboard when it came out, because one of the opening scenes, they're in Garth's car and they put in the cassette tape and it's playing, and the entire car just goes nuts for Bohemian Rhapsody playing. They showed that scene while they were filming to Freddie Mercury while he was on his deathbed. According to Brian May, who we all know and love,
King.
between Molly
Love you,
and I
Brian.
at least, his telling is that Freddie Mercury was laughing and called it wonderful. And this was like right before Freddie Mercury died. So
Dang. Wild.
to get an understanding of the humor, Wayne and Garth in one scene, Wayne is just fawning over Cassandra while they're laying on the hood of Garth's car. Garth is like,
she's a babe. If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
that's the kind of humor that the entire movie is. And it's awesome.
It's kind of giving our 2 Water Whiz Kings. Nice.
That is my number 5, Wayne's World from 1992. Molly, what is your number 5?
Because this theme is very large and very vague. I was actually just explaining this to one of my teachers today that gave me an assignment that was like, you could do whatever you want. And I was like, but I need to know specifics, because like if you give me everything, sometimes I'm like, I have nothing. My criteria is that I'm not including any holiday movies. So like the Santa Claus movies, especially, we already mentioned them in our holiday specials. They don't need to be back. I'm also excluding major franchises. I don't really love the original Star Wars anyway. Like, they're great, don't get me wrong. I just didn't want those to be here. I also, the main vibe to me is like, if you're like, okay, let's watch a 90s movie, my answers are those, right? So I also excluded Disney, mainly, well, like, actually, except for one, I guess. I do want to note that I did watch Pocahontas and Mulan recently. Shout out them. And I don't love the Little Mermaid is great, but Little Mermaid 2 is better. And I found out that came out in 2000, I think like 2002. So that is my criteria. And so if you're like, why is she choosing this instead of this over this or whatever? That is why. My number 5 is a movie that's amazing, and it's called Shakespeare in Love. It's got my queen, Gwyneth Paltrow, in it. And the guy that actually plays Shakespeare, I watched this movie, realized that my king, Joseph Fiennes, he's in Handmaid's Tale. And I'm so glad I realized that afterwards because he plays a terrible person in there. But in this movie, he plays Shakespeare. And Judi Dench is in it. She's literally Queen Elizabeth.
Dame
And Ben
Judi
Affleck is in it too.
Dench.
Oh, okay, and Colin Firth. So like some of our British and American kings. Okay. Shakespeare in Love. Basically, guys, it just takes you to like Shakespeare as he's writing Romeo and Juliet, basically, with the idea that this one girl she's not like super rich, but she's definitely not poor either. She needs to get married to this, like, it's actually like a Romeo and Juliet situation in real life where she's about to get married to her version of Paris, and she loves Shakespeare, so she actually auditions for him, and then as like a guy, so she has to, because women weren't allowed to be in the theater, fucking bitches, and so she auditions.
She's the man.
Yeah. So she auditions as a guy, and then he ends up falling in love with her as a girl because he sees her at a party. So a very similar situation to, how Romeo and Juliet meet. And then it's basically kind of about that. And then he he'll figure it out and all these things. And they're just, it's electric, you guys. It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie. For real. It's so good. And I would not say it's a romantic comedy. I would pinpoint it as a romance or a romantic drama because sad, but it's amazing. And that's it. Good music, good outfits. I think this is like, I haven't seen Gwyneth Paltrow in anything else really. I mean, yeah, she was in Iron Man and I love her for that, but this is her best movie. While saying that, director John Madden, don't know who that is, and who did the music? Please hold. Music by Stephen Warbeck. Cool.
I wish
Let's
I knew
go,
what
Steven.
that meant.
Same. He did Billy Elliot. Whoa.
Did not watch it.
And that's all I recognize. Sorry, Steven. Love you, man. If we were like talking romance movies, Shakespeare in Love would be higher. But like when you say 90s movies, I don't really think about it. But it's so good. I watched it recently. That's why it's on this list.
Yeah.
All right. What's your guys' top 4?
Our top 4 is Forrest Gump. I mean, Tom Hanks, he just does a great job, but I think also, I mean, it's iconic. Like, Jenny, we go together like peas and carrots.
Oh, shit.
Jenny, we go together like
peas and carrots again.
Life is like a box of chocolates. I'm literally interrupting you. Oh my god, this is the first time Molly interrupts a guest. When Bubba is like talking about shrimp being like the candy of the sea or whatever, like that, he's so real for that.
He can do just about anything shrimp, and then just like fucking 3 hours probably of just listing off different recipes that he just can make, what he can do with shrimp. I'm like, all right. But also, on a serious note, I mean, it's a little bit of a tearjerker, especially with, especially the line when he says he's just kind of throwing his like heart out there to Jenny, and she's like, nah. I was like, okay. I don't know. Like, I feel like every time I'm like, oh my gosh, like, he's just throwing his heart, and she just repeatedly just stomps on his heart like the entire movie. It just gets me so angry.
Yeah, she's like, I need Coke.
Yeah.
She's a bad lady.
But
she's so Julie the American Girl doll.
Yeah, but she, like, no matter what, he was just head over heels. Like, it did not matter. He just, like, did not see. He's like, yeah, but, I love you. And that's that. And that's enough for him. And, I just thought it's just so wholesome, especially, like, towards the end when, it's, like, little Forrest and him. And it's just so cute. I just adore him.
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, exactly. It's so cute. And then also, I do enjoy even like Lieutenant Dan's character development, because especially when he was like, nope, I was supposed to fucking die. And then all of a sudden at the end, he's just like supporting Forrest at his wedding. And she's like, just even when other people would poke fun at Forrest, there was just certain attributes like that was just a boundary that people would just always stick up, like Jenny and Lieutenant Dan. You're just like, oh wow, like they are terrible, but at least there were certain things they were able to be like, nope.
And that's
Just
why
like being able
Jenny
to
is the
stick up
real
for
enemy
him.
of this movie, guys. She
Yeah.
sticks up for Forrest and then treats him like shit the entire time.
I know it's makes absolutely no sense, but
she's like, I have AIDS. Here's your son. I'm going away now.
I know it makes me so angry.
Mike, tell us how you really feel.
That's what the movie ends.
I know.
And then he's
It
like,
just-
go to school.
Yeah.
Like the end of Finding Nemo.
Real. Oh my god.
It is emotional to a certain degree, but I think just seeing that progression and some of the different characters, it's just a classic, in my opinion. Right.
Erin, you gonna add?
We kind of just had our thoughts as a consensus.
I see. I support you, Erin.
I will validate. This is not in my top 5.
Me neither.
That's crazy because you were recently
It was actually
talking hype about it.
It was actually number 1, and then it got bumped, which is crazy.
That far?
Yeah.
That's
Then
crazy.
it really wasn't your number 1, Molly.
Okay, so I have some thoughts on this because we might not be talking about it again. Music by Alan Silvestri, who also did The Polar Express. Just saying, love that guy. Shout out
and the
Alan.
Avengers.
True, and the Avengers. And so that's amazing. I've played the theme to Forrest Gump before and have seen it in concert. Actually, as recent as last semester, actually. But I love all the different types of Lieutenant Dan. It's like, Lieutenant Dan. Or like, Lieutenant Dan! Lieutenant Dan! I love Lieutenant Dan. I love when
You
he
ain't
says
got
that.
no legs.
Yes! I just think, honestly, I really like how it jumps, and I really like seeing. We all like to romanticize the past and everything, and I always joke about how I would like to live during the 70s or like the 60s or whatever. But I really honestly wouldn't, and I kind of live vicariously through them. So, like, without having to actually do it. So, that's also why I like the movie. It's like a good historical moment. All the big historical moments that also they happen to have Forrest just there for is so funny to me. And off topic, but this movie just kind of also remind me of The Notebook in that way, of the historical moments and the time jumps. So, yeah, it's just different. It's good. And even though Jenny is Jenny, I also I love that must have sucked living during that time. It being confusing. I'm not trying to excuse her actions or anything like that, but I totally get because of her home situation why she wanted the life that she originally wanted. And she just ended up with a lot of crap people. I can see as a woman how she wouldn't be able to get out of that or try and fix it, even though she literally couldn't see that Forrest would have been there for her. I think it's wild that she literally couldn't get that. She could have left and he would have always been there. But I don't know. Part of me thinks she wanted to see the world and do things first. And the last thing I have to say is that I think it's awesome. He does so much with his life, and that just means that he makes me think I can do those things, and I think that's funny. So I support you.
I support you also. Jenny is for the streets.
This is like a 180 from your 5, huh? Did I redeem myself? Are we still in love again?
At gunpoint?
I mean, I think so, but I also respect that we were on different sides of it. I just thought it was a little shocking that Sandlot was.
All right, Mike, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a movie that I know Molly loves.
Wow.
It is from 1999.
Wow.
It is a sci-fi action thriller starring Keanu Reeves.
It's my number 4 too.
This is The Matrix.
Yeah! Oh, Mike, I wish I could hug you, man. This was our first accidental samesies of season 2.
The Matrix is a very good movie for those that haven't seen it.
Anderson. Sorry.
Exactly.
I had to.
Yeah, for those that don't know, it's basically about this guy, Mr. Anderson, by day, goes by Neo, computer hacker by night. He is tracked down by Trinity and Morpheus. He chases the White Rabbit as an allegory to Alice in Wonderland and finds out he's living in a simulation. The simulation's name is The Matrix. And once in the real world, he's informed that artificial intelligence took over the world. Humans lost the war against it. And in the war, humans blackened the sky so that they didn't have solar power for the robots. And the robots were like, humans create electricity, we'll just farm them. And to keep them happy, every human is plugged into the Matrix and they think it's their real life. And the movie is part one of a trilogy with a few spin-offs. It's really good because he's finding
Yep.
his way through reality and warping the Matrix to his will. And he's like the prophecy to save humanity. And it's really, really good.
Yeah. I love a good like prophecy moment, like Harry Potter, Kung Fu Panda, or like Lego Movie. Bro, I was talking about the Lego Movie. Someone was like, so good. It's kind of like that.
The Lego
Trinity,
movie
my
is
girl.
the Matrix, just animated if you look at it closely.
Whoa. The Matrix is just what happens if they lost in G-Force, for real. Great movie, shout out.
There's
but
no
like
guinea pigs in the Matrix.
yeah, but see that if they lost, that means that the technology won.
Okay.
Because in G-Force, the only ones to save them from the technology weren't the humans, it was the guinea pigs. Spoiler alert. So good though. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Okay. But I love Keanu Reeves in this. I think he's so cutie. I've never seen the John Wick movies. I know what they're about and they're intriguing.
They're
but
good.
I just like him in this. I don't mind the second one, but I definitely prefer the first one out of all of them. And I also like the idea of like alternate reality. Oh my god, this is crazy sort of thing. It definitely reminds me. I'm going to hope that it's either season 3 or season 4 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the second half of the Ghost Rider seasons. Marie, if you're out there, the framework episodes, because the framework is basically the Matrix. 4. Mike is motioning to me that it's season 4.
Season
Watch
3 is
season
when
3
they're
too.
saving Gemma from space.
Yes. Oh my god, spoiler. Wait, Mike, you remember. Wow.
Yeah, the first half of season 4 was Ghost Rider. Second half was LMD, which I did not watch.
Which is so that's crazy because fun fact, that's actually wild. Well, fun fact, did I literally tell you this like last semester? I will go back. Sometimes Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like 8 or 7 seasons long. Even if it was 2, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of death, there's a lot of things going on, people coming in and out, and it's so confusing. And I don't need that all the time. So if I want to watch some of it, I literally only watch the framework episodes where they literally go into a simulation and then 2 people go in and have to literally be like, you're in an alternate reality. It's actually like just like the Matrix, but obviously completely different. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that. The Matrix was also my number 4 as well. Yeah.
So the reason it's my number 4 is because it's right on the cusp of being a 2000s movie that it feels like a 2000s movie, even though it was made in 99, because it's all about techno, leather, sunglasses, cyberpunk, which was a big thing in like the early 2000s. But that's because The Matrix came out in 99 and caused all of that.
Yeah.
It's not nostalgic because it doesn't feel old or aged to me, but like I watched it for the first time on VHS Home Alone. It was a good time when I was 14.
Whoa.
And yeah, there's not many quotes from it just because it's like a fairly serious movie, not very quotable, but it has a lot of influence in other movies like Shrek. There's a scene where Fiona is fighting off Robin Hood's Merry Men and she does Trinity's freeze frame like 180 kick. And
yeah,
the new Barbie movie from 2023, when Barbie has to go to the real world, she's given the choice between a heel or a Birkenstock. And if she takes the Birkenstock, it's to the real world. And she's like, I want the heel. And they're like, no, you need to take the Birkenstock, playing off of the red and blue pill from The Matrix. And it's very fun.
Erin, have you seen this movie?
So we have a really interesting story about The Matrix and our experience. So I personally have seen The Matrix. Erica has not.
Hey.
But interesting enough is that we went to the drive-in to attempt to go see it, or at least to show it to Erica. Well, Erica, I'll let you
This is a
tell
good
your
story,
experience
everybody.
for the drive-in.
Okay, just it's a hot summer day. Just got done with a week's work. You got your snacks. We got pillows, we got blankets, you got the AC blasting. It's go time, right? We're watching The Matrix. And then next thing I know, it's lights out. I wake up, I look around. All of us are passed out in the car. It wasn't even just me. Probably the most expensive nap I've ever taken. And I was like,
did you miss the whole movie?
It was probably halfway through the movie, and I just felt like it was one of those that you can't miss a single minute of it. Because if
It's
you do,
true.
I think it's just one of those you have to see it from start to finish. Obviously, in order to understand like what was currently happening, I was like, all right. I like nudged Dylan on the side, like, yo, we fell asleep. And then we just all woke up. We're like, oh my gosh. All right, well, let's get out of here at this point because there's no point on even trying to pick up where I've missed because I've never seen it. Everyone else in the car saw it.
It's awesome.
However, I don't think anyone felt like trying to explain where I left off. But it's no reflection on like I'm sure it's great, but I don't know, just painting the picture here just on how.
Was
But
there a dude eating steak in the movie that you saw?
no, I have no recollection of any of that.
Okay, because that's like the turning point of the movie. Because that's for those that have seen it. Spoiler warning for those that haven't. That is where Cypher, who's like one of the team of rebels in the fight against AI and the Sentinels, he rats out Morpheus in return for a sweet life in the Matrix untouched by agents. And he's eating steak during this negotiation with the agents. And he's like, I know this steak is fake, but ignorance is bliss. And then he drops where Morpheus is. And then that's like the second half of the movie starts.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yes, too. For at least for myself, I know Erica will because she hasn't seen it. She can't speak upon that experience of the drive-ins. Has no reflection of how I feel about the Matrix. I do agree with Erica, though. I think it's some like that you have to watch from start to finish. It's kind of confusing, especially watching it for the first time. So, and that was
You
going to
need
be
to
my
free
second
your
time
mind.
watching it. That would have been my second time watching it, or at least attempt to, I should say. That was just, like I said, no reflection of how I feel about the Matrix. That was just a result of a hot summer day and a food coma. So
I get it.
We should try reboot, seeing the Matrix during the summer, maybe not at the drive-ins, because I spend $25 for a nap again. I'm going to be happy.
I own it on 4K disc.
Heard.
It's
Sometimes
awesome.
like movie theater is best place for a nap. Like when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it was lights out. During like the most important fight scene, the loudest part of the movie. I couldn't even tell you what happened. All right, Erica and Erin, what's your number 3?
So Eric and I agreed that our next runner-up is Pretty Woman. And the reason why that we selected this, well, one, I think it's just like a classic, and I feel like this is like a timeless movie. No matter how many times I watch this movie, I don't get sick of it. I also like that it's almost like your non-traditional love story where they came from like totally like two completely different backgrounds. A businessman and he was very successful, and Vivian was a hooker, and how they ended up meeting and kind of the way they fall in love. And I also love Vivian's character development. She's a very like dynamic character, like how she started where she kind of no one plans or wants to pursue said lifestyle, but she did it for survival, and like that was the start of the movie, and she kind of just was using that as like a survival. And then as she like met Edward and fell in love with him and being reintroduced a totally different life that she hasn't even been exposed to, I felt she ended up wanting better for herself. And she's like, oh, I deserve better. I want better and I can have better. And I feel like it was a big 180 from the beginning of the movie and then towards the end of the movie. And I just, because of that, I really think this is a good one.
I love Julia Roberts' Slay.
Julia Roberts! Julia Roberts!
I have two
Actually,
things
he's
about
good, too.
this movie, even though I've never seen it. I have two things about this. So one, I'm assuming Roy Orbison's Pretty Woman is the opening song for this movie.
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I didn't hear the question. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay, that's number one. Two, I know a behind the scenes thing that happened in the movie, and I'm wondering if you guys caught it, even though I've never seen this movie. There's a scene where she's eating a croissant and it cuts to him talking, and then it cuts back to her, but she's holding a pancake this time.
I feel like I'm second guessing everything in my life. How did I not catch that? The amount of times I've seen this movie and I have yet to catch that, I'm questioning everything in my entire life now. I love like it's like that though. You're like, wait, where the hell did that come from? But I don't think I've noticed that either.
I have not, but I don't think of you any differently, Erin, because I haven't either.
I don't think I've watched Pretty Woman a substantial amount where I've like caught it. I mean, then again, I'm also just not the most observant person in regards to like little fine details like that in a movie. TV shows, yes, to a degree, because I don't know, to me, I think it's like easier to see different details like that in like a TV series because you're constantly watching small. I think my attention span is a little bit better for a TV series rather than like a full on movie all the time. But yeah, no, I don't think I've seen it. But
see, thing is, Erica, I've seen that movie like so many times, more than 10 times, and the fact that I've never caught that, like, I don't. I'm kind of like a little well, I'm embarrassed, but two, like, I don't know.
No!
It was just a question. I wasn't trying to make anyone feel bad.
No, you're good. I'm just kind of like in disbelief. I'm like, because
I think I would swap a pancake for a croissant though, honestly.
Real.
she's like, you know what?
That's
In
what I was
fact-
thinking. I was like, I would just like gaslight myself into being like, she just wanted something else, duh. But
Yeah.
Erica, I do think what you said, completely off topic, different from this. You were like, you're not really focused for a movie or more for a show. Isn't like the point literally like the opposite? Like, okay, wait, that sounded way more like I'm like attacking you. I'm not. I just mean like I'm sitting down for a movie, like I feel like I'm gonna watch the movie, but if a show's playing, like I'm just like whatever. You know what I mean?
A show though, I don't binge watch a series. I just watch one or two episodes, if that, versus a movie. So if a movie's like pretty lengthy, and I think it also just depends on the plot too. I mean, something when I know I have to like really hone in on a plot, I mean, something that's pretty elaborate,
Matrix.
such as like Shutter Island or like Fight Club, like, you know, where you're trying to figure out all the little pieces, or The Matrix, even though, you know, they didn't try that hard. I will try to really hone in. But then if it's like something where I'm kind of going into a plot, like, oh, Pretty Woman, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's a hooker trying to hook, you know, and this guy's trying to like, you know, they're meeting each other, that sort of thing. I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, I mean, it's like I said, it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It definitely presents it the way it presents itself on the plot. You're like, oh, that doesn't sound. But when you just actually see it play out, you're just like, wow, seeing how their chemistry changes throughout the movie. You know, it's definitely more engaging. I'd say though, generally though, movies I have a hard time just trying to hone in per se than TV series. But I also, again, my main, you know, what I like to watch in a TV show generally is like a sitcom. So it's, you know, it's not something where it's supposed to be this super serious, intricate plot. It's just, oh, here's a good laugh.
Yeah.
Real.
The Pit
And
is
I get
really
that too.
good. I stand by that again and again.
Honestly, I also don't watch movies and TVs all the time. Like if someone's like, you gotta watch it, I'll watch it with that person just so that I could reflect with that person. So Mike, next time you come over, we gotta watch episode 2, man. Like that's just how it's gonna be.
Erica, did we watch Harry Potter together with Pranav? Did you never see it before that?
Nope, never saw a single ounce
Right.
of Harry Potter. It's so good though. I was the fact that I like deprived myself that long. I was like, that's
When I
a
make
shame.
my move, then you're
Free
to check the king.
Not me, not Hermione, you.
So number 3 was Pretty Woman from Erin and Erica.
Yeah. I support you guys. I have seen that movie. I don't remember it as vividly as Erin probably does, but it's great. Mike, what is your number 3?
So my number 3 is a Disney movie. It is not part of the Disney Renaissance set of movies. This is from 1995, and it features an all-time soundtrack. This is 1995's A Goofy Movie.
Whoa. Did you listen to each other's love?
I rest my case. So, for those that haven't seen it, you're living under a rock, and shame. Max is a teenager, last day of school, and he has a crush on this girl, Roxanne. And there's this huge concert with his like icon in the music industry, Powerline. he pulls a stunt on the last day of school that gets him in trouble, and Goofy is called in by the principal, and he's like told a very exaggerated version of what happened and is super worried about Max. After Max successfully asks out his crush, Goofy is like, we're going on a road trip because something's messed up and we need to fix it before it gets any worse. Max, being the prick that he is the entire movie, lies to Roxanne and is like, my dad's taking me to the concert. We know Powerline. We're going to be on stage with him, and I hate him for it. But the movie itself is so good. By the end, they reconcile. They like come to each other's senses, even though Max hates Goofy for most of this movie, scumbag. And they end up on stage with Powerline, and they go home, and Max admits he was lying to Roxanne, and she's like, you didn't need to lie for me to like you because I liked you already. And I'm like, all right, well, that's just a cop out. You should be mad at him. That's the premise of the story. But takeaways, this movie was a huge part of my childhood. I had it at number 1 for the longest time before reevaluating what would count as 90s movies for me. I had on and off criteria for this. It's similar to Wayne's World, where this movie is flooded with nostalgia, but the character and animation design is also drenched in the feeling of mid-90s MTV, kind of like the color palette for Clueless, where it's like the vibrant 80s bleeding into the 90s, not very like gray computer like 99 was. And Powerline is like a blend of Michael Jackson and Prince for the premise of the movie. You have Pauly Shore as Bobby, and Pauly Shore was a huge comedy actor in the 90s. I respect that for him. I rewatched this just to verify where it was going on this list. I did not notice until yesterday that the principal has a display case in his dark office, and it's just filled with different disciplinary paddles with different spikes and shit on them. And you're like, this dude is evil.
I hate that.
But I love the heart of this movie. It's told through animation and appears like a lighthearted comedy, but it's about a single dad that's worried that he's failing his son and is trying to course correct before anything gets worse. And he truly loves Max, but Max is in that very realistic age bracket of teenager where he's like, you wouldn't get it to like everything, even though Goofy was once a teenager also. So, though it's full of heart, visually appealing, deep with personal nostalgia, the soundtrack is what puts this at number 3 and no lower, because you've got Eye to Eye, you've got Stand Out, you've got After Today, you've got On the Open Road, and you've got Nobody Else But You. All 5 of which I know all of the words to. Karaoke me, get a drink at me first. Favorite quotes. One is Goofy and Max are leaving for their road trip, and Goofy's like saying goodbye to things in front of the house as they're leaving, and he's like,
Goodbye, house. Goodbye, mailbox.
and he hits the fence as he's backing out of the driveway, and it cuts to them looking at the road with the broken fence, and he's like,
Goodbye, pile of broken wood.
for some reason that one gets me every time I watch it. The other one is where Goofy and Max like come to terms with where they are in each other's lives, and Goofy's like,
I was only trying to take my boy fishing, okay?
I'm not your little boy anymore, Dad. I've grown up. I've got my own life now.
I know that. I just wanted to be part of it.
and that is where you're like, ah,
Shout out, Goofy. We love you.
you're my son, Max. No matter how old you get, no matter how big you get, you'll always be my son. But that's why that movie's my number 3.
Mike, can I ask a question?
Yes,
Don't judge me. Did you see that they ended up on stage at the end?
they did.
So, this movie really is also just about the power of manifestation.
Well, no, it's about the power of lying to your dad and then he caves.
How did he end up getting on stage, though?
They snuck in through instrument cases, and then they were backstage and snuck up.
Do Erica and Erin have anything to say about it?
True. Erica and Erin.
I mean, I think it is a classic, but like you said, just this little tidbits where he's just backing out with the woodpile, just, I think it is hilarious. He was like, oh, okay. But it's fun. In my opinion, you can't go wrong with Disney. I really tried branching out, so that's the only reason why I actually didn't include any Disney movies, but I was going to throw a couple on the list, but like I said, you can't go wrong.
like this would have been one of mine if we didn't like stray away from Disney movies. I feel like that would have definitely.
Hell yeah.
I'm not sure if the mic picked up the thud of Louis, but
No, but awesome.
I do have to say, I haven't watched the Goofy movie. Goofy movie and Chicken Little to me are actually like the same movie. And
Nope.
why I say that is that all I remember of both of those movies are the clips they would show at lunch in elementary school. But obviously, lunch was not an hour and a half long, so I don't actually know
I think
what
you should
happens in
sit down
each of
and
those
watch
movies. A lot of millennials, or I guess older Gen Z, still really like Goofy movie. Like they're bringing it back in the parks, and Max will meet with Goofy, and sometimes for special like Disney World parties and Disneyland parties, they'll bring Powerline Max out, which is how he has to make it on the stage if he's in that like outfit, I guess. But or it's like in a flashback or whatever, in a dream or whatever. It's in something, and he's wearing it.
The stunt he pulls at school, he dresses up as Powerline and puts on a concert, and the
That's
principal
fun.
gets pissed.
So yeah, he's wearing that. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, they even have like a parade or whatever. So it's definitely like my sister is actually like Marie. Shout out Marie. She is classic '90s. Like she was like, "What the heck?" Because Erica and Erin are doing this. She loves '90s movies, and yeah, she loves a Goofy movie. So
I am right on that 2000 line.
Yeah.
Molly, what is your number 3?
My number 3 was originally, we had a lot of move around. This one was number 1, then it was number 2, and now it's number 3, because I think that the ones on top of it are giving more 90s than this. I feel like, let's watch a movie. I don't know if I'd put this one to watch first, like especially if like the person I was with has never seen it. I also had a very big issue with this movie the first time I saw it, and it's The Truman Show. Such a good movie. Long story short, okay, I want you guys to imagine the Hunger Games, right? Stay with me. You know how they're in the arena where it was like a whole new place created by, imagine that, but where instead of all the technology, like they actually made something like that. And then they had this kid grow up there surrounded by fake parents, fake friends, fake everything. Like literally the whole world revolved around him, like literally, and cameras everywhere. And he had his own TV show. His name was Truman, and he was played by Jim Carrey. And Ed Harris and Laura Linney are also in it.
Paul Giamatti.
Sure.
Paul Giamatti.
Philip Glass was in this movie? That's crazy. Sorry, musical guy. Basically, bro gets pretty far. He gets grown up, goes through high school, college, and he's married. And only then do we get to start seeing what's happening in the movie, where a bunch of little things happen that make him realize, like the world literally revolves around me. And then it's basically him going insane for a hot second. And then, yeah, he realizes it. The kicker here, too, is that he longs for adventure and he wants to go places. So his whole life, everyone's like, no. In my opinion, though, if he was young and he was already like this, I would scrap and start over. Why?
Why drag the process?
Yep. Or like, while he's still young, and if this is so consistent, make another country somewhere and like have him fake go there. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Obviously they had budget for this, so crazy. Anyway, and yeah, that's basically it. And then he eventually, spoiler alert, gets out of there. And this is the movie where, yeah, like bro, he was like, he kind of like, it seems like he didn't fully believe what was happening, because he was on a boat out of there, and then he hit like the wall, and then he was like, whoa.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to believe it, and then it came true, and he was like, my life is a lie.
He was like, holy shit. And then the classic line he has is,
in case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
At the end of the movie, when he is on the spot, they're like, dude, you're live in front of the whole world. He says that, smiles, and then leaves, and that's the end of the movie. So good. So good. The biggest problem I had with this movie when I first saw it is that I thought that this could have been me. Not in like a selfish way. I was just like, whoa, like why have my parents been hiding this from me? Is that because this is my real life? I was like, oh my God. Then I was like, where are photos of me as a baby? What is this? What is this? And I was like, holy shit, like my parents aren't my parents. And oh my God, where are the cameras? And to this day, all right, don't freaking judge me, okay? If this podcast gets famous, don't make clips of this on TikTok. I'm watching. To this day, if something happens and I'm alone and it's weird or whatever, I speak out loud my thought process just in case. Or like
Oh,
if I
yeah.
drop something over there, I'll be like, I didn't mean to do that, or something like that. Just in case someone's watching and they're like, why is she doing this? Because they're watching him do everything. That's like wild to me. So yeah, I do that and it's fine. And yes, if I am under any type of influence, the paranoia gets even worse. One time, a little high at a hockey game, things got crazy. I almost had to leave. So that was the only problem with that. And if you're still like, oh, that's so like selfish of her to think the world, that's maybe what you want me to think. You know what I mean? Whoa. So that's all I gotta say about that.
Schizophrenia 101.
I'm totally fine. I'm healthy. Like, could you imagine the dude that came up with this was like, hear me out. You know what I mean? And Jim Carrey is so naturally funny. And his wife, oh my gosh. And they have like all these like ads stuff. And sometimes, yeah, if I see too many of the same ad, I'll be like, oh my God. They like, I'll jokingly be like, oh, they want this in the show right now. Like as in like the upper people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like funny. Or like when I go to a new place, I'm like, this show's never been here before. So, but yeah, like if I was with Mike, maybe and he'd be like, put on a 90s movie, then I could offer this up. But if it was like a random person, like a random movie night, I don't know if this would be the first thing I would think of. And honestly, same with my next two. Oh no, same for my next one. But like, because I feel like you just need something more fun, right? But yeah.
My next one is certified 90s, but it's not my turn.
Certified lover boy, certified. Bop, 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 bop.
Don't say that about me.
I'm not.
Okay.
You're not a certified. Erica and Erin, what is your number two?
So our number two is Home Alone. I would say I did include a holiday movie because every year, like it's a must watch. Everyone knows it. I mean, if you don't know who Macaulay Culkin is, then I mean, you're living under a rock. It's everyone watches it every year. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I would say it's probably right behind A Christmas Story. I mean, I would be pissed. He was happy that he was home alone, but I would freak out. I don't think I would be so chill at 8 years old. Be like, yeah. I mean, then again, I guess if you're rich, then you'd be a lot more chill. But it's hilarious. Joe Pesci, of course, is, a great actor and just it's hilarious just trying it. But I think the first one is my favorite. The second one and anything beyond the first two where it's the other kid never watched it, refused. That's a fraud. But I think it's one of the most quintessential Christmas movies, excuse me. No matter what age you are, you're most likely aware of, someone's in your family has watched it and you've watched it. I mean, there's even kids, working at a daycare. Any kid I watched, like, yeah, like Home Alone, like we love it. So I think it appeals no matter which generation. Although I say you didn't include a holiday movie, I think it deserves to be up in the 90s or top 5. But I wanted to make sure we hit a bunch of like a plethora of different genres and topics.
Oh, Queen, I fully support you. I just made my own criteria so that it wouldn't overwhelm me. Because if I had to like choose, I think I'd collapse and we wouldn't be recording right now. You know what I'm saying? I fully support you. And also, like, I think that when you look at that house, it's like, boom, 90s. Like, there's definitely very specific aesthetic, one that you're looking for right now for this list. So fully support you. I got the theme stuck in my head right now. It's all your fault. What the heck? You'll be hearing from my lawyer. And also, Mike said something about this movie.
One Christmas movie.
Yes. And I also remember Mike. Oh my God, catch me remembering. Mike said that he watches this all year.
It's a year-round movie for me.
I love that.
Yeah. So we support you. We're here for you, Eric and Queen or King.
One of the best parts of that movie is when he's running away from them in his treehouse with the rope tether to the attic, and Marv is like, he's calling the cops, and Harry, Joe Pesci, is like, from a treehouse. Very
also shout out Catherine O'Hara. Love you, girl.
Rest in peace. Honorable tribute.
I just found out that she was Queen Rowena. Oh my God, she was Queen Rowena in Barbie 12 Dancing Princesses. I had no idea
until I texted you, and I didn't know either. Yeah, Home Alone and Home Alone 2 I had tied for number one Christmas movie because by proxy, number two had to be included at the time. But I know Molly likes number two more than one, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and also, you guys, since filming our Christmas episode, my mom and I went to New York City to some of the places that they went to. So that was very nice.
I did try going to the hotel, but you can't unless you have a room. I was like,
I really wanted to see the park stuff.
I tried going to the plaza and it was like patrons only. And I was with my friend Jenna and I was like, Jenna, hold my stuff. And for those that don't know me as well as the people in this Zoom call, I have ridiculously long arms for my height. And I was like, hold my stuff. And I took my phone and I took pictures through the window of the lobby from the ground that's a solid 6.5 feet lower than the window. And I got pictures of the lobby as best as I could. And I was like, yeah.
Mike, what's your number two?
My number two, Erica knows I watched this recently. Erin, maybe, I forget. I know Erica does. So I'm
on the edge of my seat.
This movie is live action and animated, technically. This movie set the stage for blockbusters after it came out. This monumental. This movie took 65 million years to make. This is 1993's Jurassic Park.
Whoa, is it bad that I thought Jurassic Park came out in the 80s? That's crazy. I didn't even think about Jurassic Park.
It is so good.
I support you.
Rewatched it a couple nights ago and I was like, this cast is stacked because you have Laura Dern, you have Jeff Goldblum, you have Richard Attenborough, you have Sam Neill, Samuel L. Jackson. so many faces in this movie. I feel like this movie is like significantly well known that like anyone listening will know what it is.
So many faces and also so many types of dinosaurs, Mike. They're there too. Okay.
So true. It's a very good movie. I do have a few takeaways to share besides that because, I rewatched it, got a 5-star review out of me. There's a bunch of computer monitors and camera feeds and computer systems on display in the movie that scream early 90s, where it's like significantly low polygon shapes for 3D rendering on the computers. The billionaire has his grandchildren there as like proof that kids will enjoy the park too. And his granddaughter, Lex, is a hacker and knows computer systems. I do like that it's kind of like a satire on the fact that it's the 90s because there was so much technological advancement they were doing before they thought about it at the time. And there's an entire movie about that now. So I thought that was very funny. Visual effects, stunning. It won the Oscar for visual effects, sound design, and sound mixing. I thought Molly would like this, but the computer graphics division for Jurassic Park was Industrial Light and Magic, originally owned by George Lucas, sold after this movie to Steve Jobs, and it became Pixar.
Whoa. Crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The character of Alan Grant, at the beginning, he's like he hates kids pretty much. And like there's one kid that questions his authority and like knowledge of dinosaurs. And he's like, this is how a velociraptor would gut you. You shut up. And the kid's just horrified. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And then throughout the movie, he becomes like the guardian of the 2 grandchildren because they escaped the T-Rex and he has to like watch over them for the night. And he comes around to the idea of kids being cool. And I was like, real as hell, dude. I feel that. Yeah. I saw this at the drive-in during COVID. It was awesome. I think there's one Disney reference that's really good that Molly would like. And it's so the billionaire Hammond, he's trying to reason why the park is like still functional even though things are falling behind. He's like,
This is just a delay. That's all it is. All major theme parks had delays. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
Real.
Real as hell, dude. Hell yeah.
Or do they?
And then there's a quote, Ian Malcolm again, referencing the fact that humans are playing God. And he's like,
God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth.
and then both the guys stare at her, and she's just like, "What you want, bitch?"
I love her.
But I think "Life Finds a Way" is like the biggest quote that everyone knows from this movie. It's very good. I stand by giving it 5 stars every time I watch it.
I support you. Well, that's like the sentence of the episode. I've
Just
seen
wait
that
till
one
my
though.
number one.
So what?
Just wait till my number 1. I'm about to light that movie up.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, real. Great music too. Played that too.
John Williams.
Would totally see that in concert too.
Didn't even get Oscar nominated. I was like, what the fuck?
The craziest thing is that I think I've been to I think I went to Universal before I saw the original movie, or at least in my when I started to remember things, like at least that I can recall, right? And so like they have a food court, and I always was like, this is such an interesting shape for a food court, and it's literally like the main building from the movie. And I'm like, oh, that's why they literally had to do that. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
It's just so cool how they can recreate things. But also shout out Dinosaur, or Rip Dinosaur, and Dino Land from Disney World. I love you.
True. That was a 2000 for Disney, the dinosaur movie.
Yeah, but the ride.
Yeah.
The whole area. Ugh. Jeez.
Didn't we get stranded on a Jurassic Park ride though in Disney when you and I went together?
We did. Yes, Erica. Oh my gosh. We had to walk off of it.
It's very fitting for Jurassic Park to have to walk off of the ride, because they jump out of the cars to go see the park outside of the track in the movie.
Right?
How fitting.
That's wild, yeah.
But Molly and I survived. No dinosaurs tried eating us.
Yeah. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I mean, I don't want to be like repetitive, but everything that Mike said, like I would have said second.
Molly,
Mike,
what is your number 2?
Well, my number 2 also was at some point, I was thinking about her being my number 1, but it's such a long, sad movie that I didn't want it to be number 1. Like, when you think of 90s movies, you shouldn't think of the Titanic. You should think of the Titanic. Just think about the Titanic, I guess. That being said, my number 2 is the Titanic. If you don't know the story, I'm not explaining it other than, actually, that's a lie. I'm going to explain a little bit. So, one of the first of its kind actually, gets coined like the unsinkable ship, and then obviously hits an iceberg, drowns. That happens in real life, guys. Craziness. Honestly, I'm so torn between the idea of this movie even existing, because, imagine, you're one of those people and you're, in the afterlife now and you know that this exists. I don't know how that looks. But alas, I think that they did a very good job at staying true to this. And honestly, they honestly didn't change much. They added 2 people's love story, basically. Everyone else is almost the same, actually. Very realistic. We got Jack, Rose, basically, kind of like a Romeo and Juliet-esque. Actually, it's actually exactly like that again, because, Rose has to marry this one guy because they're losing money and they have to do it. And then they meet each other, I'm flying, Jack. And then Rose. Oh, God, I always loved the way he said Rose.
Rose! 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 Rose!
Sophie. The ship sinks and then they try to stay alive. And there's, that big debate on whether or not Jack could have been on that door. I think that with how much Rose was freezing and could barely stay alive, I think that maybe he could have fit on the door, but that they both would have been in the water a little bit because of it. And I think they both still would have died if he was on the door. That's my take. And then, Jack dies. And then Rose is able to be free of her mom and that guy. And that's it. After the ship sinks. Also, when they made this movie, they replicated the ship and sunk it. So that's actually crazy. And what is it? James Cameron, he was obsessed with the Titanic. I don't support how many times he's been down there for his own personal amusement. That's very odd. And
Rich people
at the same time, I'm very into tragedies. And I learned about the Titanic's existence at the same time as I learned 9/11's existence while I was on a plane going on my first cruise. So that was crazy.
Double trouble.
I know. Shout out, Mom. Anyway,
it's absolutely terrifying.
I know. Yeah. I'm just a girl. Actually, that being said, I love boats. I also think it's very interesting. It's great to see, the outfits. Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And a bunch of great people are in it. My queen, Kathy Bates, she's in it.
Hell yeah.
A lot of people are in it. Oh my god. Anyway, it's just so good. And yeah, it was made in 99? And Celine Dion, Heart Will Go On.
It won every Oscar nomination that it got.
Real.
11
it's so good.
or 13.
Wow. So anyway, it's a great movie. It is. Wow, it's
sure
long
is.
though. I can handle it, but most people can't.
I've only seen it once, but that's because I saw it once, thought it was so good that I haven't touched it since.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those, all right, you know what happens, but I mean, everything's
Watch it
the
in
acting,
reverse. It's
everything is
awesome.
great.
I was about to say watch it in reverse.
That boat saves lives.
The conspiracy theories along the Titanic, you're just like, I don't know.
It is like a mind fuck because in the beginning you're like, oh my gosh, like yay, they love each other. Then it ends in like basically almost all of them are dead. It's kind of like Rogue One in a way.
Yeah.
Anyway, Erica and Erin, what's your number one?
So our number one is, I would say, for the most part, is lighthearted. It's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hell yeah. Yes.
It's so good. I mean,
Robin Williams kills it. Like that, he did such an amazing job in that role. Like, oh my gosh, some of like the lines are so iconic. Help is on the way, dear.
Help is on the way, dear!
I always love that one. Every time I laugh my ass off when he.
see, what gets me, obviously, is just him. Every time, though, the impressions of him being able to change his voice to each individual character, like,
it's off, Lou.
Oddly enough, it kind of reminded me of like my dad would do different like impressions and be able to change his voice. So I always found it pretty humorous, and we would watch. My dad and I would always, all of us girls would watch the movie pretty often. So we would be like, "Oh, Dad, that would so be you." He's like, "I want to be dressing up as a woman, though." Sorry. He's like, "That's where I would have trouble." I mean, also the mom is like such a bitch. And then towards Erica, but like towards the end, she like realized like, yeah, I was a little out of hand there. Like in
Yeah, I
court,
may
she's
have been a bad lady for most of this. Sorry.
it's just so funny that she's like, wait, I probably should just let it go. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like she got a divorce because the dad threw a bomb ass party for her kid. I don't know. To me, I was like, it's a little harsh, but
Because she's by the books and she's a bitch.
I mean, yeah, but what the problem was is that she felt like she had to discipline constantly, and he was the fun one. Like, sorry, he's fucking cool and you're not. That's just.
Sorry, you can't have fun, lady.
But I mean, I think it's just great. It's
pretty nostalgic,
yeah,
at least for you and I, for like our childhood, because we grew up watching that with our parents. I don't know. To me, that movie will definitely like stand the test of time of being funny. Like no matter how many times I see that, the lines and like
it's just as funny. Yeah, it's the first time seeing it.
Exactly.
I really like trying to be Mrs. Doubtfire and himself at the same time when I think it's the visitation officer, is like coming to see how the apartment looks to see if he's capable of having them over. And he like just drops his face into the cake for hiding his face.
That's similar the hot flashes comment. That was pretty funny too.
Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
Because he burns his shirt on the stove, right? And he's like, are you about to drop some heat on us, Molly, that you've never seen this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I'm in disbelief right now. Molly.
I don't even know.
Molly.
It is such a good movie.
At least for like the Sandlot, I can get some of the people and potential parts of my. Yeah, I know for a fact that I've never seen that movie. I'm sorry, and that is why I didn't say anything.
God forbid a motherfucker hasn't seen a Barbie animated movie as a 26-year-old man.
Okay, do you at least like
That's
have
not
an
the
idea
problem, Mike. That's not the problem, and you know it. The problem is that you didn't take it seriously when I wanted to actually give it to you for the podcast, for the purposes of exploration.
I will
and
now.
You know it. Erica, what were you saying?
But like like the rundown of like the plot though, right?
Nope. I'm so sorry.
Parents, they have 3 kids. She comes home and it's the son's birthday party. And so she's just like fed up that she's working overtime. She constantly feels like she's kind of putting all the kids, like keeping them all her little ducks in a row. And he's kind of just having more fun. His job isn't as consistent as hers. So she just kind of was fed up that almost like he wasn't doing his part in the marriage. So they ended up getting a divorce. She has like full custody of the kids. And then what he decides to do is like, well, I have to see my children. So he dresses up as an elderly woman because she needs a baby
babysitter. And he's like, well, let me do it. And she's like, nope, I need someone who's gonna like be disciplined enough to do homework and cook dinner, do all these things. And so he ends up applying to this babysitting job that she posted, and it's just acting like this British elderly woman. But in hindsight, it's just him, just so that he can see his 3 kids throughout the entire movie.
This
And
makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
Everything
Does she
we
ever
said,
find
and
out?
Molly's just over here like, huh?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
It's so good.
You'll see like the progression on like how it plays out and how it actually goes about of
kids
like him. Eventually, like they do, but originally they don't. They just think it's this super like tall, beastly, elderly woman that
She was part of a rugby team, okay?
Right, yeah. She's like, I used to play rugby.
She's jacked.
I mean, I don't think this would even fly. Like, and now in the movie industry, this would never.
I mean, it's timeless, supports drag.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, his brother is a homosexual makeup designer, isn't he?
Love him for it, though, you know? So, yeah, that's probably why that's our favorite.
Can you guess what my response to that is? I support you. Can't judge a movie I've never seen. You're right.
Do your homework, Molly. In the next coming weeks, that could be something to think about.
I'm too busy planning my my graduate recital.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Period.
Hell yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Erica, you've also never seen The Notebook.
I have not, but
Neither have I.
I feel like Mrs. Doubtfire, though, I think would appeal to most versus The Notebook. Maybe.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's fine.
I agree with that standpoint.
I definitely don't judge you for not seeing it. I'm just surprised because if you're gonna watch any Robin Williams besides like Jumanji, I think
Like Good Will Hunting.
I feel like Mrs. Doubtfire is like the one that really is like, oh my gosh, yes, Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
I get it. I mean, I know what I know that it exists. Like when you said the name, I was like, okay, it's Robin Williams.
The name sounds a little familiar.
Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Mike.
Oh my god. Hello.
Mike.
What's your number one?
My number one is a tattoo on my leg.
Joke's on me. I forgot what tattoos you have.
Correct. So this movie came out in 1999. It is an animated movie. It is at the top of the list of movies I would show a future child. This is 1999's The Iron Giant.
Ah, I have seen that. Haha.
It has significant impact in our household. If I didn't, I'm surprised I didn't. But I had to have been close to burning out the VHS tape as a kid because I watched this movie so many times. For those that don't know what it's about, a giant ball of fire hits off the coast of Maine, and it's assumed to be a meteor or something from the Soviet Union, given that it's 1957. Turns out it's a robot from another planet, and it goes into hiding, and the main character, Hogarth, becomes his friend, and at the end of the movie, the robot is a really cool guy, and I won't give it away. It's a fairly straightforward story about the strength of friendship, but knowing director Brad Bird's intentions behind it as an adult. For context, Brad Bird's sister died from gun violence at her husband's hand. So this movie's theme is, what if a gun had a soul and did not want to be a gun? This movie is his memorial to his sister that passed.
Wow, I did not know that.
From a technical standpoint, this movie is beautiful, hand-painted animation, but the Iron Giant is CG, with a specialty software created explicitly to make the line work shake just enough to match the hand-painted frames that it was put over. This movie was one of the critical elements in my love for mid-century design, like the 50s and 60s. Much like The Incredibles, it was a point of inspiration for my college thesis project that focused on post-war America and the society changes that followed. Significant quotes. One, "You are who you choose to be," said by Hogarth. There's one where the giant is like questioning what life is, and he's like,
Well, yes, someday. I don't know. You're made of metal, but you have feelings. And you think about things, and that means you have a soul. And souls don't die.
Then there's the fun ones, which is the army general that is in the town because the army's been called in because the robot is suspected to be Soviet. Calls a missile strike on the Giant's current location with a nuke. The general is like,
That missile is targeted to the Giant's current position. Where's the Giant, Mansley?
Wow. Oh.
That is my number one from my top 5 movies of the 1990s.
Nice.
I love it. It's so good.
I don't recall this movie in great detail. I've seen it a few times, like few parts of it, but I haven't. It's not something that's really jumping out where I've been like, oh my gosh, like I recall, or it's like one of my favorite movies. Like I don't think I've seen it in full. So sorry, Mike. Molly, you're invited.
Molly, what is your number one movie of the 1990s?
Well, Mike, honestly unexpected because as I think I said earlier, Forrest Gump was on there. Forrest Gump was number 1. Then it was Titanic. Then it was this. And this, shout out to Cassie Mama. My number 1 movie is The Parent Trap, but the Lindsay Lohan version. Super cutie. I forgot how people thought about this. Erica and Erin are currently looking at me and smiling. That could be because I look pretty today and they like to see my face, or they could be judging me, but I don't know, and we'll find out. Mike just looks chill. Thank you, Mike. For those of you that don't know about The Parent Trap, basically, it is kind of a stupid thing if you think about it. These two adults, had children, and they were like, something happened and they had a divorce and they had twins, and so they just had one of them take one of them and the other one took the other one, and that was that. And they thought that nothing would happen after that. That's the stupid part. I think that's the crazy part. The dad lived in California on a vineyard, he owned a winery, and then the mom lived in the UK as a fashion designer. So very different upbringings for each of them, and the girls both met each other at summer camp, and then they actually like hated each other because they were like, whoa. And then when they both were in like camp version of like extreme timeout, they start sharing things, and yeah, it was confirmed that they had the same parents and that they were sisters, and they made a plot to switch themselves so that they could go see the other parent and then get their parents back together. This is important because the dad was going to get married to someone. Shout out Elaine Hendricks, love you girl, queen on Dancing with the Stars last season. She's bad in this movie though, where she's about to marry the dad for like bad reasons. Basically, the girls figure this out, split them apart. They ended up, succeeding in everything, and that's basically that. The other thing with this is that each of the parents have their own like helper person who is kind of helping the girls. So the dad has Chessie, queen, and then the mom has, oh, I see his face, I don't know his name, oh my gosh, Martin, there we go, love him. And then like Chessie and Martin like on together. I love it, so good, funny. They use the banana, so cutesy. And I like it, and I really like Lindsay Lohan in that. She plays both of them, and I think they do that very well.
When they first met, why didn't they think they were related at all?
They met in the middle of a fencing match. So they both had masks on, and when they took off their masks, they're like, whoa. Instead of being like, we have the same face, we must be related, they were like, we have the same face, but only I can have this face. Like, they didn't like even like think about it. It makes more sense if you watch the movie. I kind of explained it poorly. Like, obviously, they were like,
I know the movie, I just haven't seen it.
So yeah, it's cute. Camp. Honestly, I also like it because it goes to a lot of different places. It goes to California, it goes to the UK, it goes to summer camp. I like it because it's also in sections. And they also go camping outside of the camp. It's cute and it's fun.
I mean, my hot take is I don't think it's that great, in my opinion.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
It was either that or Mean Girls is like a hot take, but I swear I don't have anything against Lindsay Lohan. It's just The Parent Trap. I just think about, obviously, Erin and I's perspective. We're just like, mom and dad would never split us. That's so weird. Nonetheless, if you're working in the UK, why would you go to the US just for summer camp? I find that to be just crazy. Like, wow, nothing like really like messing up your kids. I don't know. I feel like that definitely would have.
The craziest thing about it, Erica, is that so the sleepaway camp is actually on the East Coast. Apparently, it's like known for being like it's like an all summer camp. I don't think there's a lot of camps that do that, and so that means that actually both kids had to go on planes. I completely agree with you. It's just cutie, and you're not wrong about Mean Girls. But I don't know. Have you seen it?
The Parent Trap? Yeah, I've seen both. Like I said, it's not like a horrible movie where I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. I'm never gonna get this time back. I mean, it's cute, I guess, but I'm like, it definitely gives. I mean, granted, it's a Disney movie, right? It's not supposed to be like realistic by any means, and no explanation. It doesn't have to per se make sense. But I'm like, there's just certain things you're just like, wow, that is such a warped reality. Even in the slightest, there's not one thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that could happen.
What does Erin think?
I don't know, I'm pretty indifferent about this one. I do like the plot of it overall. Like, I think it is like pretty decent one. It's been so long since I've seen it, but some details are a little interesting, like Erica said. But I also do think it's interesting that there are like long lost twins and they're kind of like, and then they find their way back to one another. I do think that's kind of cool in a movie perspective. And it's a little bit, it's more lighthearted. Yeah. I do like that aspect of it, like the overall plot. But like I said, I don't think it would be one of my favorites, but I do think it's a decent one. I don't feel as strongly towards disliking it like Erica does. I guess I should.
I think what irritates me is I'm like, okay, you did all of that, mess each other's whole childhood and perspective and like what you know and your reality. Just be like, all right, mom and dad are gonna get back together. Yay! Like I'm like, okay.
It is that easy, guys.
I mean, yeah, they figured out. But Erin, respect. Well, both of you respect, obviously. But cool.
I know we're not doing honorable mentions, but it's more of just an announcement for Mike. So I was gonna put my cousin Vinny as my number one, but since Erin and I had to come up with a consensus, she never saw it until literally this past week. I'm like, you can't put it as your number one.
Yeah.
But just saying, if you watched it sooner, or
I mean, you saw my response to Mrs. Doubtfire, so I think you're good.
I was gonna 10 Things I Hate About You was there, and then I was like, and then my other one was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, like that was gonna be on there, but then I was like, Shakespeare in Love beat that one out. So
that was officially our first top 5 of season 2, Molly.
Yay! Erica and Erin, do you want to tell everyone what our assignment was, and you want to talk a little bit just about what made you decide it, how you met the artist, and everything like that?
So our assignment to give to you guys was to listen to Daughtry's Leave This Town album. Even though Erin and I have a pretty diverse music taste and we wanted it something that it was still somewhat was not out of left field what you guys would listen to. Of course, I love metal, I like rock. However, I didn't want it to be, Five Finger Death Punch or Slipknot where you're listening to. It's something that you would still be able to enjoy or kind of relate. So I thought Daughtry, it's one of our favorite male vocalists. It's an album that Erin and I tend to go back to quite often. It's kind of a post-grunge kind of feels, but I would say Chris Daughtry definitely has pop, but he also has like a little bit of a rock feel, and I think it is pretty prevalent in this album. It's definitely more heavier on like the bass and guitar. But yeah, I think Chris Daughtry's great. Seen him in concert a few years back. I think
we have seen him live opening act for Nickelback. He's definitely one of our favorite male vocalists. He puts on like a pretty epic performance live. So if he ever was to do like another tour local, like would want to see him perform live again. He did a cover of Metallica as well. And it was really was pretty impressed by it. It was Nothing Else Matters. He did a really good job with it.
Daughtry kind of puts his own spin on it, and also he should have won American Idol if you ask me, but back in I think it was 2004.
He was on American Idol?
He was season 5.
I'm so glad that it wasn't Jennifer Hudson's season, because if you were like, he should have won, and then we found out it was Jennifer Hudson, we would have had a fight. Erica and Erin, if you had to rate this album, what would you rate it out of 5?
I would say it's my favorite album that he's done. So maybe I'm just kind of strict, but I would say it's 4 out of 5. I think there's a couple songs I probably would swap out for a different album just based off how they fit with the sound. The song like Ghost of Me, so good. There's a ton of good ones on there, but I would say the one that stuck out is like Tennessee Line and maybe like Call Your Name. I think I'd probably put on another album.
For me, some of my favorite songs from Daughtry are on the album, which would be No Surprise and Life After You. And I do really like Ghost of Me as well. I do agree with Erica saying that there maybe be other songs that I would, if I could swap different ones, there'd be a couple that I would probably add.
Yeah, but I don't think I would take him out completely because, of course, you want a little bit of a.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, not to take them out, but like an add on. He does have another album where it's like, I think, an extension of this album. So it's like Leave This Town, but the B sides one or something like that.
Yeah, there's an extension to it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, Slay. Automatically assumed it would have been like a 5 out of 5, but it's, it's whatever you want, and I appreciate your candor. That's exciting.
Molly, I'm actually curious on what your thoughts about it because I feel like I can kind of see Mike be like, oh, and I think Mike is familiar, maybe like a couple of their songs already. Where I was just curious what your take.
You think I've never heard Daughtry before?
Not never heard. It's just I don't think it's typically the music you gravitate towards.
Do you think I live under a rock?
No, actually, it's not me. It's my father. Erica, you're besties with my mom, but I told my dad about this, and he was like, no way. Because my dad loves Daughtry. I don't want to say loves. I think right now they're in the mix. But when I was younger, waiting for Superman to pick her up. I also just now while you were talking, I was like, there's a song I know. What is it? What is it? And I had to look it up before my phone died. It was I'll Fight. My dad would play that one a lot. It's not over. Like Home, I think. So like a couple. I mean, his voice, I always knew was great. And the fact that they would always have such good harmonies, that's actually interesting. It's interesting that you thought, okay, it's weird. Thank you for choosing me first, Erica. So I actually listened to this album today. So yeah, I listened to it on my phone, as in my phone was playing it, so not earplugs, although I thought sound quality was actually great. I'm just going to say a couple things that stood out to me. First of all, yes, his voice is amazing. Second of all, the harmonies are so good. I feel like it's so rare to see harmonies in pop music. I know it's not pop, it's like rock. Still, really catchy melodies. Great for him to sing, but also most of them you can sing along to, and a lot of the songs I feel like are relatable. Like they're all intricate in their own ways, and they connect with a lot of people. It's not like all like, oh, she doesn't like me, or and some of them are interesting. Some of them are like, I'm in the wrong, I have to change, and that's great too. What I do want to say about the album as a whole, in the beginning of the album, it was a lot of this song is a bop, this song is a ballad, this song is a bop, this song is a ballad, this song is a bop. Then it kind of fizzled out of that formula, and then also most of like their upbeat songs in the beginning had name of their song at the very end, like as the tagline of their chorus. So like their chorus would be like, every time you turn around, you know what I mean, or something like that. I don't actually know if that was the really one. You know what I mean? Not just like, not, it's obviously like songs are obviously allowed to have the title in the song, but it would always be like at the end of the chorus. Like I was like, all right, they're about to say it. No surprise. You know what I mean? It's just like, again, I don't know if that's an exact, right? So I just thought that was interesting. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just like, I was like, all right. And also some of like the upbeat ones, the bridge would be good. And then they would go back into doing the pre-chorus. It'd be really, really soft. And I was like, all right, they're about to like punch it. And then, you know what I mean? So it just kind of formulaic, and it came out in 2009. So everyone was kind of doing that, I guess. At the same time, by the end of the album, all of the songs kind of melded together. And so I guess my summary for him in this album is that like, I don't know if I would be able to listen to just this album. I would just pinpoint a few songs and then like keep those in my rotation instead of listening to this one album as a whole. Going through some songs, No Surprise was great. I had heard this one before, and oh yeah, You Don't Belong. Maybe you guys can help me. It sounded a lot like that song that goes do 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 yeah, boom boom. It sounded a lot like that. I was like, whoa.
First you were all like, whoa, and then we were like, whoa, and then you were like, whoa.
I thought it was that song, and then it wasn't. And yeah, they were way hardcore than I took them for. I was like, shit, this is crazy. But in a good way, this album also sounded like some Disney Channel boy bands in the best way. Specifically, I thought of Starstruck, Radio Rebel, and Lemonade Mouth. Or Spectacular, which is a Nickelodeon movie. Great stuff. And No Surprise, and also all those formula things I was saying sound a lot like Fearless Taylor Swift. she would do a lot of that. And they would do a lot of the chorus again afterwards and then maybe end end on like the verse. If that makes sense. She would do a lot of those things and she would add a lot of harmonies in Fearless. I do think it's interesting though, because they're not country. Apparently, Apple Music claims that they're rock, but it is really interesting how they kind of switch throughout genres in the album. And that is good. And that is a light at the end of the tunnel of the idea that everything is the same, because some of them stand out a lot. The absolute winner of the album for me was Call Your Name. I don't know why. That was beautiful. I loved the melody was beautiful. And I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
I actually didn't fully get the message of it. I was like, okay. I had to look it up. I don't really care. That was great. Traffic Light was good. It was a bonus song on the deluxe. It sounded a lot like Home though. I was like, whoa, I thought that was the other one. But yeah, so I probably would rate this album a 3 out of 5. It's like not the best, but like definitely not the worst. So maybe even like if we're getting points in there, like 3.3 out of 5, but I think I'm just going to keep it to a 3. I would definitely listen to it again. Would I recommend it to a friend? Obviously, it depends. Like, I'm probably going to tell my dad about it. I'll be like, dude, listen to this. Let me know how it sounds. I'm definitely going to put Call Your Name, even Ghost of Me in my rotation. But I think it was like, honestly, a good album for them. And it was surprising. Also, the background singers had a lot of call and response going on. So that's very exciting. The song Tennessee Line also sounded a lot like a country rock version of Adele. I was like, if Adele was them, this is what would come out of it, and I loved it. And I also like that song because I feel like he has a great voice, but he keeps singing in that upper register, and I'm like, I want something else from you. And I think Tennessee Line, he was finally a little bit lower. He didn't push his full potential until the very end, at least, and I was like, great, give me something else. I've always wanted to continue my journey looking into Daughtry, and I'm really pleased with this, actually. Skidoosh.
Good job! Thank you. I thought that was great. But I'm glad that you actually somewhat found it enjoyable, because I was a little worried. I was like, I could see Mike getting down with some of it, but then I was like, I wonder what's like Molly's thoughts. Because don't get me wrong, like Ghost to Me, so good, and I love Call Your Name, especially like how it progression through like the song, and it is beautiful. But I was just like wondering, just kind of like what your take was on it.
It was good. Actually, yeah, the I think the most negative thing I have to say about the album is that it was a little formulaic. Like not even like the type of music itself. I can handle a lot of genres, just most of them not for too long. Like I couldn't only listen to this for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of differ with Erica. I actually think you would have liked this album. I guess you weren't saying that she probably wouldn't dislike it, but I guess you were like, it was unclear what you thought Molly's thoughts were. I thought you would like, and I knew it was going to be, and I guess like your analysis on it kind of was, I guess, kind of what I expected a little bit, where you wouldn't be able to listen to this album like all the time, as in like this would be like one of your top favorite albums, but I think like, add a couple like onto your playlist into to rotate through, but probably wouldn't have been like your number one album. Which kind of not the point, but I'm glad that you were able to pull a few, and some of the ones that you listed were a couple of mine, so I'm pretty pleased.
Period. For our listeners, this is random, but I recently had a cheese party. Think about what that could mean.
Oh my god! What is that?
And the point of the party and the point of this podcast isn't for me to listen things or for us to listen things and like it. It's for us to try it. So even if I didn't like it, like, I feel like I was hard on myself for not liking some of the stuff last season. I mean, obviously I'm going to want Mike to like some of the stuff. Obviously he's going to want me to like some of the stuff. But in the end, I'm like, at least I tried, at least I tried those cheeses. And now I know I don't like them. Or I do. Or they're a 3 out of 5. But most of them were disgusting. All right, Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to follow up on that. That's why I'm willing to watch animated Barbie content at this point. Because at least I tried instead of just bailing.
Yeah. And actually, get this, Mike, for a split second, I thought about rewatching Tar.
That's crazy work. Oh my God.
I know. Okay, whoa. Mike, what are your thoughts on the album?
All right, overall thoughts. Number 1, I feel like I should have been wearing a long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt over it for this album.
You guys can't see their faces, but they're like, oh my God, he's so funny.
There's a sub note on that says definitely the American Idol era of alt rock. B, Chris Daughtry, who hurt you? Call 988 if you experience a mental health crisis and need support. I get that most of this album was breakup songs. I can't relate to that. So that's where the difference comes in. No Surprise remains the takeaway, even if it is a bit of a bummer, like looking into the lyrics. I do agree with Molly that a lot of the songs were formulaic and kind of blended together. Even though I was watching each song lyric go by on Spotify, seeing the title change, I was like, it's still going. That was just me. Individual songs, most of them I was like bumming me out, man. Like I'm having a good time, but you're bumming me out a little bit. Like I listened to them in order, not shuffled, but No Surprise. I was like, I only knew this one going in, but was a bop 2009 to 2011. Still is. Definitely in that Nickelback Shine Down era of alt rock. And I kind of wish that the album opened with this one because it's a bit more of a hook and catch than You Don't Belong, where it's like, this one was the commercial success on the radio that you heard all the time. Start with that, get them in. I liked Supernatural. That one I was like, this one kind of goes. It's the opposite of 90% of the album. Because 90% he's like, I fucked up, or we're done. Get that through your head. That was most of the album. But this one he's like, I don't even have to think about this. I'm so in fucking love right now, dude. Yeah. Tennessee Line, that one was the surprise high rank for me because first off, let me run away from my problems, bitch. Second, the acoustic opening caught me. I was used to like the kind of intense, bassy, punchy openings for all the other ones before it. And then there was a key change and I was like, oh my god. And then there were violins and I was like, bah, you got me. But then the violins went a little bit longer than I expected and I was like, come on, man. But other than that, Call Your Name I thought was good but not great. It's another bummer, man. I wasn't a fan of it was kind of the bridge. It's like a really intense verse with strong guitar. This feels like a Guns N' Roses solo, not Daughtry. After that, the trailet at the end, I was like, this sounds a lot like Shadow of the Day by Linkin Park. But then there was that guitar lick at the end, and that threw me off. I was like, what the fuck is that? So there was that. I think What Have We Become, On the Inside, and Traffic Light were all the deluxe songs, right, Molly?
I think Call Your Name was the last one. And that's actually interesting about when you said Call Your Name. The main reason why I knew that I liked it is because I wanted to like sing it. It was like, whoa, like a different genre version of the song would slay.
Life After You, I had at the same rank as Call Your Name, where I was like, good, but not, oh my god, this is the best one on the album by a long shot kind of thing. The opening reminded me of Complicated by Avril Lavigne, and then they started and I was like, never mind. And then Ghost of Me, that was right as the bummer fatigue hit, and I was like, damn it, another sad song. And that was halfway through the album. So then the rest I was like, just hanging out. At this point, some of the songs were of note, like Supernatural and Tennessee Line. The first half of the album, No Surprise, was the takeaway. I was on Open Up Your Eyes, and I saw September was the next song, and I was like, this better be some Earth, Wind, and Fire shit, because I need a boost. I'm just bummed out again. So overall rating, I gave it a 2.8 out of 5.
That is wild. I thought for some reason you'd like it more than me.
Some of the songs, yeah. We had mostly aligned song preferences on the album.
I can see why you're like, oh, it's the same like theme throughout the album. Like it's redundant, so I don't want to bum me out. But honestly, thinking back when I do listen to this album, I'm not always listening it in order. I kind of swap it around. So maybe that's why I don't have this bummer fatigue, as like Mike would say, be like, oh my gosh, like, it's I definitely do agree. I think if it was a different order or swapping out like the different songs, like I mentioned, it probably wouldn't have this whole mood, I guess, that you're feeling. But of course, that's like the key takeaway on how he was feeling when writing the album, I would assume. But I do think Tennessee Line is, in my opinion, I was kind of surprised on liking that as much as I did. But yeah, I would say Call Your Name. I'm like, yeah, I can see why people either love it or you don't, because it has that very abrupt, change. And it's almost it's like a different song towards like the end versus. So I think like you were saying where you're like, what is this? Doesn't even sound like it's the same song. I could see why that it kind of like throws you off. You're just like, I don't know. Doesn't have that flow maybe that you were looking for.
What I'm hearing is to prevent Bummer's Fatigue. We're gonna give instructions to not listen to the first half and
I'm sorry.
disclaimer may or may not result in Bummer's Fatigue. um, from song number 1 to Wobbly Wobbly Blue.
Part of
But
me thinks that he should have just made he should have either cut stuff or they should have made a double album instead, where they one
I
of
don't
them was
think-
a banger and the other one was all the real
sad.
shit, or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And I think it is interesting, kind of, and they even did another, an extension of this album. And again, I feel like, I don't know how much in advance was this in the works or how that was executed off the top of my head. But I do think that would have been an interesting point that Molly made. They would have done that instead if that would have may or may not result in a different outcome. I also would have liked to have been a fly on the wall seeing Mike's facial expressions
you would have.
reaction to the album.
It would have been the
Be
loudest fly on the wall ever. There would have been so many abrupt laughters that my boss would have been like, "What the fuck is out there?"
Don't you wish that you could be a fly on the wall?
Whoa, deep cut.
Shout out Hannah Montana reunion coming up.
One other note I had that I deleted. Chris Daughtry's been married since 2000. Who hurt him? And 9 years later, he has this album drop.
Whoa, that's wild.
Dude's going through
It's
it
like
bad, but still in love with someone.
It's like Taylor Swift when she wrote Lover and then she wrote Death by a Thousand Cuts.
Yeah.
And she was at a, what is it, Tiny Desk, and she was like, yeah, and I'm so in love, and I thought to myself, how am I gonna write something like this? And then she wrote my heart, my hips, my body, my love, trying to find a part of me that you didn't touch. What? Gave up on me like I was a bad drug. Now I'm searching for signs in a haunted club. What? And she was in love at the time. Arguably, maybe not.
I didn't know Taylor Swift had bars like that, dude. That was our first review of season 2.
No, wow. Yay. Oh, we're all clapping.
I
Wow.
look like the monkey with cymbals.
To move it right along. Erica and Erin, do you guys have anything to say for Speak Your Truth?
What's a hot take that you have that might be a shock to other people in the
About
movie and
a given movie or artist or album? Could you imagine? They're like, well, Molly, actually, I don't like this about
They're like,
you.
actually, I don't really care about the Middle East. Hey.
I'd say it kind of touched a little bit on some of the hot takes. So, ironically enough, my hot take originally going into this was the Parent Trap.
Damn.
Woo! Hell yeah.
My best friend hates you, actually.
Since I kind of already reflected on, I don't feel strongly about it where I'm like, this movie sucks. This is awful. No, I don't feel that way. I think it's fine. I could see why people like it. It is enjoyable. Like you said, it's an easy watch.
It's okay,
just,
Erica. Speak your truth.
When it comes to trying to relate it to obviously being a twin, it's yourself, you're just what's going on here? I would never just if I'm fencing my sister, be like, oh yeah, you look just like me, but then not even question it at all, and then you're just oh, and then you're just on the other side of the world just cause, and then how you meet is just summer camp. I don't know, it's just very interesting how it plays out, and then all of that just to be like, mom and dad are back together, woohoo.
Not to continue fighting on this, but I just realized that one of them is British. You know what I mean? I'd be like, how the hell did my parent get that far away? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'd be like, huh? But yeah. Do you have any more Speak Your Truth, or are you stand buying that?
I mean, I can also discuss about something else, but if you want it. But that was honestly the one that I had.
If it's about the Muppets, we respectfully decline.
It was not the Muppets. It was it was more of a music standpoint, but I thought since I more prepped on this one.
Erica, I want to hear the other one. I want to hear both. Speak your truth, Erica.
What was yours going to be?
I guess my Speak My Truth, even though 90s and grunge had became that was biggest genre for the 90s, and the huge, I guess, a very popular band was Nirvana. Nirvana's not my favorite, and I know they kind of were a big, huge impact for grunge music. They are just not my favorite. I have other ones that I prefer much more. That's kind of just my thoughts on that.
Erin, I support you. And I don't think you're alone. I actually have told some people in my past, like, oh, I should actually listen to them because I feel like everyone wears like their t-shirts and I see like the logos and stuff. But then like most people in my life are like, it's not worth it. So no.
Some of their songs are really good, but I wouldn't say every single one.
Exactly. And for those people who wear Nirvana band t-shirts and then you go and you ask them what's your favorite song and they pick the most popular song, like a Teen
Yeah.
Spirit, obviously.
Or like people like that in general. Which Erica, Smells Like Teen Spirit, even saying that is also a lie because anyone who's ever seen the Muppets knows that the Muppet version of that is better.
No.
Ba me me ba ba me me ba ba me me. That was a great Mike. Did you like that?
I did. I'm in support of that.
Thank you. Mama Mosquito. Me 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 mo. Me me mo. Erica Marie Malark, if you have another Speak Your Truth, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, and I want to hear it right now. If not, we're moving on, and I don't want us to move on. I don't want you to have any regrets. Okay? Tell us one more.
You're gonna regret hearing it, but it's Taylor Swift.
I know.
But
and that's okay. That's all right.
There are some albums and songs that, like, of course, that are great. I think she is, but there's other songs, like the song Bejeweled. I can't tell you how angry.
I'm so angry
and annoyed. I'm so over hearing it. It's just one of those songs. It's just so overplayed, and it's granted. I don't want to say it's horrible because it's not horrible, and especially when you put work into something. You don't want to like say, yeah, you put your heart and soul in this. And I'm like,
yeah, but if it's annoying as fuck, it's annoying as fuck.
Make the whole place
It's just
shimmer, bro.
And when I meet the band, they see you have a man.
Something about it, it's just I don't like it. And then her new album isn't grand by any means, but I don't think it's horrible. I mean, I could see why like some of her songs are catchy. Opalite is catchy, but do I think it's a great song? No.
Don't you mean no? Oh.
I get that joke.
I crack myself up.
I mean, I think it's fine. I can see why people appreciate her as an artist because she does, her lyrics and stuff are fine. And of course, I think media really don't help either.
So, to our listeners, Mike and I will not be speaking our truth when we have episodes with guests on, or I should say, our own truths. We will be doing that another time. However, I do think that if we have things to add on or like to respond to, we should. And I do want to say that actually, since our last season, Taylor Swift did drop a new album, October. It was called Life of a Showgirl. And I have to say, it is her worst album to date. And I strongly believe that her best music making will forever be Folklore, Parts of Lover, and, some of her older stuff. And Erica, I actually really agree with you. Like, I really do. Some of it because of how good she has done, it's just like shocking now. And that's coming from a disappointed fan of hers, not like a harsh critic. Obviously, like, things aren't for everyone and everything like that. But yeah, that's all I really had to say. That for the most part, I agree with you. And also, she hasn't been doing pretty well in the public eye recently. And for this time, I actually quite agree. So that's the tea.
I like Midnights. That's all I can say.
Midnights overall is good. I mean, yeah, it's crazy that Bejeweled and Bigger Than the Whole Sky are in the same album. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. I think Midnights is the only album I listened all the way through, and I was like, shit rocks. Can kind of listen to this multiple times.
Oh, I wish I made you listen to Folklore. She recorded it in Hudson, New York. Isn't that crazy if you think about it? She wrote it like less than an hour away from us.
Hell yeah.
You never listened to Cardigan, Mike?
No.
Whoa.
My bad.
And when I felt like I was an old cardigan under someone's bed, you put me on and said I was your favorite. Anyway, sorry. We're back.
Similar to season 1, where Molly and I brought our one song or one movie or one album spotlight after our assignments and discussions, this is the time where we will all present individual inputs on an album or a movie or a specific song that we feel deserves attention but hasn't been previously addressed in a given episode. And I believe we're going to start off with our guests. Take it away.
Yeah, take it away, Erin.
So I guess I'll go first. I did Gone Too Soon by Daughtry. Sorry, Mike, it's a bummer. But from their standpoint, it's talk about at least what I've taken, that they lost a child and how, it was like this young life, a lot of potential, kind of if the situation was different, like who would they've grown to be? Of course, I think just going through grief alone, I mean, just able to relate from a different standpoint, granted, not like a parent losing a child, but losing a parent, it's just kind of more the opposite effect. Losing a parent, you're just like, oh, like what they would have been able to see, like all the accomplishments and stuff that they would have thought they would have been with by my side. So being able to kind of relate, but also this opposite roles. It is a beautiful song in that aspect. And just being able, of course, it's just me being able to relate to it, grieving a loss, but just in a different form.
I mean, that description alone, it reminds me a lot of Lucy by Skillet. Because that song is about an abortion that he and his wife had, dreaming about who Lucy would have been if she had grown up.
I did listen to it, and it was a good song, though. It reminded me of that one Eric Clapton song, too.
Tears in Heaven?
Mm-hmm.
Song slaps.
I mean, Tears in Heaven is a little bit more, I would argue, a little bit sadder. I mean,
well, definitely. It's about his dead son, but...
I actually, we had to analyze a song for like poetry for English class, and I picked that song to like analyze because
hell yeah.
But it's a great song as well.
Played that in band too. Oh my god.
Oh,
Erin.
Erin.
So the spotlight that I picked, it was 10 Things I Hate About You. I think it fits pretty relevant with the theme here. As for favorite 90s movies, also tying into, speaking about romantic comedies earlier when talking about Pretty Woman. This is also one of my favorite rom-coms. Honestly, this is like one of the few that I feel like I hold in my head, like rating rom-coms at least, because in my opinion, I feel like it's very hard to find a good rom-com these days. And I would say this is like on that list of rom-coms that I hold, like that's the standard. I'm like, okay, is it as good as like these set of movies? And I think the cast was really did a good job. As cheesy as it is, I absolutely love the poem she wrote for her class assignment.
I hate the way you make me laugh. Even worse, where you make me cry. I hate it when you don't call, and the fact that you're not around. When the worst thing is that I don't hate you. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
And I also just think it was, again, interesting that she was like very self-assured. She's very assertive. She's like, I don't need no man. Like, I'm not dating anybody. And then he was kind of like rebellious. And I initially, like he was paid to like go out with her, but then they ended up falling in love. It was kind of, again, not your typical love story, I guess. And I thought it was just really cute that he ended up having like a change of heart, and he actually like ended up chasing after her because he ended up being like developing like feelings for her. So I really love this movie, and like I said, this is one of the movies that I have that fits the standards.
Period. I have only two things to say about it. Number one, this movie was gonna be on my top 5, but I was so sure it would be on someone else's that I didn't put it on mine. I will not do that again. The second thing I have to say is, I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby. Also, this is random, but shout out to the D1A Jazz Penn State dance team. Love you. You were robbed. Okay.
I agree. It was almost my number 2 before I reconsidered all of my movies. Because originally I was going strictly by 90s vibes, and I was like, this is like that grunge right before Y2K and The Matrix. And then I was like, someone else will talk about it. Or I'll bring it up later, and then I never did.
I didn't put this on my top 5 because Erica's never seen this movie.
What are we all doing around here? Everyone's not seeing movies that they should and watching movies that they shouldn't. What the hell are we doing?
We didn't put My Cousin Vinny on the top 5 because Erin didn't see it until a couple days ago. But I love that movie because it defies like gender roles with his wife being like, I know everything about cars and I can testify at court, which helps prove.
Oh, it's her.
Yes, which helped prove like the case and like those young boys, like their innocence. So I was like, that's It's crazy. It's not that I'd never seen the movie before. It's just like as in like seeing the movie like fully like start to finish. Having all the pieces together. So, and I knew generally like what the plot was about and things like that. And I knew how it ended, but like the leading up, I didn't obviously see just because, from not seeing the entire movie. But I enjoyed it. But I also felt like it would have not been fair to be like, oh, it's one of my top fives when it's like, okay, well, girl, you haven't even seen the full movie. Like from what I saw. But now seeing it fully, I can concur that it would be on this list.
Well, that was so exciting. Wow.
My spotlight is also a movie that would have made my top 5, but there was a technicality that took it away. So, I really, really wanted to include 2 other movies. I'm officially using my one movie spotlight to address 1994's The Lion King. It's an absolute banger and deserves to be in top 5, but it falls short due to a very opinionated technicality, which is everywhere I go to watch it, it's a 4K remaster. So it doesn't feel like the 90s because it's a super cleaned up animated movie. And it doesn't feel like the 90s anymore when you watch it. And it's the same reason Nightmare Before Christmas isn't in my top 5, because that's from 93. But that's also cleaned up digitally and re-rendered and upscaled and looks newer. And I'm like, damn it! That's the very thin technicality I had.
Whoa. I want everyone listening right now, I want you guys to picture this. All right, close your eyes. I want you to imagine Molly young. I want to say middle school, potentially late elementary. I'm on a cruise ship. Okay. I'm on a Disney cruise. All right. I am in the kids club alone because my parents were at dinner. My sisters were too cool for me. I'm sitting on a gigantic beanbag, sitting in a room watching The Lion King alone, as if I'd never seen it before, and I was sobbing. Whoa. I just in a gigantic beanbag on a boat. Wow. And then I was even more sad at the idea that like cats around the world have no idea that it exists. Oh my god, that is so sad.
Is this all the same cruise where with the Titanic with the plane on the way?
It's likely. I was very young, yeah.
It's a traumatizing holiday for you.
It's just, if I could speak to animals, the first thing I would do is find a lion and be like, bro, guess what they made about you? Like, I swear. And then I go to Peacocks to tell them about Barbie Island Princess, obviously. But it's just like, what? It's so cool. And then they put it in the fireworks show, Mike. It's beautiful, and there's fire. I gotta go. I'm a little too sleepy. I'm actually shedding tears. We gotta stop.
Much like when Molly and I saw Up at SPAC in 2019 together live in concert.
Mike cheated on me, but I allowed it.
No, I didn't. Erin and I saw The Lion King at SPAC in concert in 2024. I told her prior, I was like, I haven't watched this movie in years. This was my sick movie growing up, where I was like, if I knew I was sick and needed to fall asleep, I would turn on The Lion King because I knew I would fall asleep even though I love it. So I held off on watching it for real because I was like, I'm just going to pass out. Lo and behold, I turned 24 and I'm like, maybe I should grow out of that. So, like, it started, and at 25 years old, knowing that Hans Zimmer was cooking on that score as a belated goodbye to his dad, the score hits even harder. And the fact that he won his first Oscar for that music is even more telling of how impactful it is.
I gotta go. Wow.
As much as the emotions hit, so do the jokes. Main one being,
what do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula? Wow!
Best. That is my one movie spotlight because it deserves love and it was not in my top 5.
Whoa.
Respect.
Period. My one song spotlight, I do want to let our listeners know that I'm planning on, Mike doesn't have to, I'm planning on making mine somewhat related to our guests because we most of the time will know what it is beforehand. Erin's original one song movie spotlight was Rescue Me by Daughtry. I'm in full support of it being 10 Things I Hate About You. I think that's obvious. But when I heard that song, it almost sounded like a clear-cut example of what I was saying earlier, of what Daughtry kind of sounds like. That's going to be Now I Can Be the Real Me from Disney Channel's hit movie, Radio Rebel. The G's, and that's 4 G's, they sing this at the end of the movie. And literally, like, I want you to imagine Daughtry doing it. Like, it literally sounds like they could. It's so good. Like, I actually, like, they could do it. So that's my clear-cut example. And that song, I was like, oh my god, it almost sounds like this. So not that I'm cooking in the kitchen, but
Macaroni
that is
in
my
a
one song
pot.
spotlight. What?
Macaroni in a pot.
Literally. Give it everything you got. Mike, have you ever seen Media Rebel?
No.
You'd hate it. Oh,
Then
I'd
why
love
are
it.
you
You should
asking
watch
if
it.
I'd seen it?
I don't know, because sometimes you surprise me, and sometimes you're like, duh, and then I'm like, all right, I'm an idiot. Thanks.
I've never done that to you.
You know, I don't really know. You definitely have.
There's been like one or two instances where I'm like, yeah, I've seen that movie. It's really good. Not, duh.
Well, the fact that you've seen freaking Mariposa.
Yeah, it wasn't by
Tricopia?
choice. I was like a 5-year-old boy at home with
Okay,
my mom.
it doesn't matter if you were forced to or not. What matters is if you've seen it. So yeah, that's my one spotlight. Erica, Erin, have you seen Media Rebel?
I was never able to get through it. I was like, what the I was about to say, so I was about to say
Trashed.
some profanity.
It's so good.
When
it's
it
bad.
first came out, yes, but it was so funny because I saw there was like clips of Radio Rebel like on Facebook, and it shows she goes, "I'm Radio Rebel," and then everyone like acts shocked, but then there's like one person in the crowd that just like has this blank stare, and then all of it was such a delayed reaction. They're like 30 seconds, like a whole like 15 seconds later than the rest of the crowd. It was so good. I was like, oh my god, I've never touched it. Like I never
Reminds
caught that in the
me-
past. So
I'd be looking that up.
yeah, you have to. It's so freaking funny.
That
But I mean,
description-
even then, when she's like on top of the building, she's like, "I'm afraid to be the real me." I was like, cringe. But
A grown man at my college quoted that for a split second. Has never been hotter to me. I was like, wow. Oh, wow.
See,
So that-
Molly, you and I have the opposite reaction. I would be like, get the fuck away from me.
It was just impressive. Like, oh my gosh, is Radio Rebel off of Disney Plus?
I don't know.
Hallelujah.
So, Erica, with the delayed response reaction, it reminds me of, I swear it was a movie Molly just told me about a couple weeks ago.
It's off of Disney Plus.
Brutal. Tragic.
God.
Maybe they knew. Can't do it.
It's free on Pluto TV, guys.
Ooh, that means it's good.
Wow.
There was a movie Molly told me about a couple weeks ago that your discussion of the delayed reaction reminded me of. I could have sworn it's another Cinderella story, Molly, where there's the one dude in the audience that just goes, yeah!
Oh, Mike, it was. Oh, yeah, but close enough. It was Sweetheart. I invented that move. Oh, yeah.
But it was another Cinderella story, right?
You remembered. Wow.
Okay,
We've had
I
such
don't-
highs and lows, Mike.
I am not a
Look at
piece
us.
of shit. We are back.
Yeah.
Sick. Tell everybody Radio Rebel is gone. I gotta send a mass text about that.
Okay, don't freaking judge.
I'm not.
I'm probably going to text like 5 people right after we're done with this.
That's not a mass text. I was thinking like a group chat of 40 people. Being like, guys.
okay, but
Oh, I'll do one better. I'll just post it on our Instagram stories.
Oh, good. That's the same
Also-
as texting 5 people.
Also, Mayday, apparently Rihanna is back in the studio after 10 years. Wow. Prepare to be sick of me. Wow. Thank you, Erica and Erin, for joining us.
Yes,
thank you for
very
having
much.
us.
You're amazing. Were you pleased? How was that?
It was a lot of fun. I thought it definitely being able to actually, going back listening to albums, introducing like different movies. Just Aaron and I alone, just be like, oh, you should watch this movie, and just us trying to decipher which directions. And I'll have to watch The Matrix and not fall asleep. That's
And
now
The
has
Iron
to be on
Giant.
our list. So it's just nice to be able to exchange all our different tastes in music and movies, and then just end up writing a list and being able to exchange just our interests and give us our thoughts about it. We had some good laughs too.
I really enjoyed being on the podcast, and I appreciate you guys thinking of inviting me as a guest. Not gonna lie, I wasn't sure how much I was gonna be able to elaborate, and honestly, I feel like I was gonna be repetitive with what I was saying, but I feel like overall it was interesting because I feel like we polarized on different opinions a little bit. Erica's conclusion. I need to not fall asleep while watching The Matrix. That just hit me from just right now.
It's true.
Guys, if we ever get famous and open up a merch shop, we're gonna have stickers that say, instead of like, I threw salt I threw salt in the Atlantic Ocean, like in Boston, Massachusetts, you know what I mean? Like, I did this at this location. It's gonna be I fell asleep while watching The Matrix.
And all I got was this
So
lousy t-shirt.
yeah, so get us famous so we can make those.
Don't have to be famous. It would be just fun.
You guys heard it here.
Thanks for being on, you guys.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We love you. Well, pals, if you enjoyed this episode with our guests, stay tuned because our next episode will also have a new guest.
With new topics, new assignments, new Speak Your Truth, new spotlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's 11:30 at night. I'm going insane. Okay.
Thank you for joining us. In the meantime, you can see our page on Instagram at the 4M Podcast. You can follow our YouTube page at the 4M Podcast. It's the 4M Podcast on all these platforms I'm about to list, but we've got
everywhere:
Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Letterboxd, and Music Board.
We're also on Facebook.
True.
Also, if you're listening to this and think, I know someone that would like this, do us a favor and tell them about it. Maybe you will get one of those stickers. Who knows? All right, guys. Erica, Erin, we love you. Mike, I forgive you this time.
This time, I
too early to start
apologize so many times.
No, I know. Keep you on your toes.
What do I have to do?
Okay. Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.